Hail, well met. Welcome to Isekai Realms with the Dungeon Scrawlers. I am Eric Scott DeB, playing myself, Elric, in the Forgotten Realms, who is no longer an aspiring paladin, or maybe he is still an aspiring paladin, but Chris has promised that we're actually going to get class levels soon. Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath either. I am a writer, game designer, and Twitch streamer. Obviously, you can find my stuff online. I am writing superhero novels. I recently signed with a new agent, and I'm going to bring out a epic fantasy novel sometime soon. So look forward to it. And on that note, I'll pass it over to Allie.
Hi
Take it
there,
away.
everybody. Ha! I am Alexander Pitchford. I am a writer, game designer, and Twitch streamer, TTRPG streamer, to be specific. And I don't have any specific updates yet. I'm working on some fun stuff, but I think I can't talk about one of them. And the other one is still the vampire novel that I'm writing. So that's that's been a lot of fun, though. I've been enjoying that one. But
That's going to be awesome when it comes out.
oh,
All right.
absolutely. But I would also like to take some time to tell you about one of our sponsors, and that is going to be, of course, Idle Champions. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons and Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida, Havilar, and Mehen from the Brimstone Angels novels. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Web, Epic Game Store, Google Play, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. For more information, check out idlechampions.com.
How have they not put Shadowbane in yet? I mean,
Shadowbane, Illyra, like, come on.
It's fine. You know, they're constantly adding new stuff to the game. We'll just be patient.
Yeah. Maybe some of
Take
the
it away,
irregulars,
Rhiannon.
So I'm Rhiannon Held. I write urban fantasy as Rhiannon Held and a space opera as RZ Held. I have two dice partners to tell you about. Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you're skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. You can find their dice and accessories at norsefoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials. You can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joel Everett, usually one of your mods in chat, posting silly polls under the handle Rumpus Imperator. But tonight, I am playing myself, transformed into a dwarf by a family curse. Randy?
hi, my name is Jordan McGillicuddy. I'll be playing the part of Randy Henderson today. He's apparently like a bard slash cleric, or I don't know. We'll figure this out, but I hope I can do him justice. And yeah, take it away, Chris.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. McGillicuddy. It's good to have you aboard. I am Chris, your dungeon master for the evening and all evenings that involve this game. Well, so far. And when last we left our heroes, we were at the beginning of book 2. They had departed Westgate in kind of a hurry at the end of book 1, and attempting to get to Waterdeep, found that they were close, but not quite exactly where they intended to be. It turned out that somehow they had arrived in Undermountain, more specifically in a forest within the boundaries of Undermountain. After arriving, a couple of our heroes were actually unconscious, either having been recently resurrected or recently given power from a god. So those that were conscious wandered around a bit to discover a bit of information about the area that they were in, and somehow attracted the attention of some of the locals, who were not altogether friendly. Hunters, if you will. Rhiannon managed to deal with that problem in a very fiery way. The sort of fiery way that has left a portion of the forest ablaze. And the clearing that formerly had a pond in it, now having half a pond in it, and a great cloud of steam. Eric and Randy had conversations somewhere with entities, are now conscious, and the whole group has rushed over to where the site of the conflagration occurred. Rhiannon, borrowing a mask that is normally in Eric's hands that allows its bearer to see through things like mist, which there is a considerable amount of at this particular moment, owing to the great big fire, is inside that mist and has just finished reading a graven stone upon which in Elvish was written a poem, clearly about a magical blade of some importance that was feared enough by Hallister, the owner and operator of Undermountain, to have been hidden, perhaps somewhere nearabouts. Rhiannon just completed that activity, and the rest of the group is all gathered together outside of the scalding steam cloud, and that is where we rejoin our action. So, Rhiannon, that was a poem.
I mean, I don't want to be carrying around like fancy swords. Like, I don't need it.
Who needs fancy swords, really?
Well, it sounded like quasi-evil fancy sword to me, so I mean, as I hand back the mask, I will say, here is what it said. It doesn't sound of particular use to us, but you know, if you guys are now deciding that you want to follow up this thread, but
see, the problem there, though, is the other thing that occurred at the end of the last session is there were a series of 3 horns that blew in the distance. Horns that looked very similar to the ones that were on the waist of the leader of that group before you turned him to ash. So the group was a little concerned about tarrying overmuch in the area.
Oh, right. Yeah, we should get out of here. That seems like the best course of action right now.
I was thinking that it would be a little bit funny if we're standing there, like facing off against these newcomers, and Rhiannon bursts out of the steam cloud and goes, "Hey guys, this is what the poem said. I'm not sure we should." Oh.
Well, okay, so Rhiannon.
If they're not here yet, that's good. We get a chance to get away.
Has Rhiannon rejoined the group yet?
She has. She just stepped out of the mist and returned to Eric's mask and said, "It's a poem about a sword. I think it might be evil. I don't know. Oh, horns."
Yeah,
great.
Basically.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's go.
Okay. Go ahead. Question?
I was gonna say, hey guys. So, Finder talked to me in my dream or sleep or whatever it was, and said that I maybe have like cleric powers now. So I could probably cast Bless on us, maybe. I don't know. But if I did, I think stupid 2E rules say I have to do it before combat. So I have to like somehow know that we're going to be in combat before we're in combat to cast the combat spell. And if we're hearing horns, you just tell me when you want me to cast it. Like you think it's before combat, but we know we're going to be in combat.
If we get a chance to prep before we get attacked,
yeah,
we'll do that.
Planning isn't really our thing. But so do we have, if we were going to try to evade these folks, do we know what a direction to move in? I mean,
I was just about to tell you a bit about that. So the horns, there were 1, then 2 more that sounded off after the first. If where you're standing right now, if the direction of the clearing where the steam cloud is was to your east, and the original clearing that you went was to your west, and north is up and the south is down, these horns seem to be coming from the southeast. So if you're looking to just directly evade them, northwest.
Do we have any sense of how to escape this place?
The entity with the greatest amount of knowledge about this place is the one that Rhiannon is in regular communication with.
Yeah, but I mean, I can ask.
We understand the hestation.
Well, I mean, I no hesitation asking, but it'll probably be like, oh, you know, you're in Skullport and or Undermountain, and I'll be like, yeah, and it'll be like, you're in Undermountain, because that's how it rolls.
You're portraying as though it's not at all.
We've got a solid direction at least. I think we should move and try to figure all the other stuff out later.
So almost everything I know about Undermountain comes from Idle Champions, so I'm not sure how lore accurate that is, but Skullport, based on the map, should be at the west end of this level, right? So maybe we just go west and hope we hit Skullport?
I mean, that seems like a reasonable direction as almost any other one.
And it's
was
away
it
from the
northwest
horns,
the only
so-
way we could go anyway? Did I mishear that? Like,
Well,
do we have a choice?
You could always go at the horns. I mean, there is always that choice.
Rhiannon, do you get the feeling you could do that again if you needed to?
I don't know, because it's powered by the mark the first
Mhm.
time it happens,
Right.
and then it's powered by me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, but I suspect I only got one of like a kind of lower level version of it. So
Okay.
I could try again, but it probably, like, I don't know, maybe
So-
just toasts them as opposed to burning them to death, which is
Okay, so probably not. All right.
but
We'll keep
anyway,
that
as
as
far
a
as the
backup.
direction, like, we do want to consider, like, they're hunting, we don't want to be herded. Like, if they're like coming in a direction and we go like diametrically the other way, like we're acting like some kind of animal. So not directly northwest seems like maybe we don't want to do that. So west, sure.
Yeah, I think we should go west and look for a good hiding place.
So the horns just sounded off again. They're making their way to try to hem you in on three sides. So what was southeast is now south and east. So directly west instead of northwest? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll begin plunging through the woods.
Sounds good.
Keep in mind there is moonlight from the sky above. And so you've got a little bit of light, and some of you have the capability of seeing in low light environments. There's an elf and a dwarf in the party, for example, who are pretty good at navigating in those environments. And Eric, you've got a mask, which Rhiannon has returned to you, which really helps you navigate in those environments.
And a glowing sword when needed.
And a glowing sword when needed. And you all have the ability to luminesce your marks so that you can at least create, something like torchlight around yourselves, or more candlelight, but still, so that you don't collide with trees and that sort of thing, even though it is fairly dense. Remember, you're in what amounts to a jungle in terms of vegetation in this place. It's extremely verdant. So in any event, you will move west, and in about a round of movement, so 100 feet or something like that, because it's fairly thick vegetation, you'll encounter a pillar, like a rock formation, which just goes up into the sky. Yeah, that's not just a rock formation that goes up, and this is a cavern, which means it's got a ceiling, which means that the sky isn't real, or if it's real, well, yeah, because you can kind of see where that. Okay, well, that's weird. But if you've encountered a rock formation, maybe if you keep going this way, you'll hit a wall.
Yeah. We keep
Worth a
going
shot?
this way, I think, and we keep an eye out for a convenient or suitable hiding spot where we can maybe hide and wait for them to pass us.
Okay. I
Do
mean,
a quick, just doing a quick circuit of the pillar as I walk around it. There's not a door in it, is there?
this pillar is pretty big. It's going to take you an entire round to circumnavigate it if that's what you want to do.
Well, just as I walk, I'm assuming if we're going to continue west, we're going to have to walk around it. So
Correct. You'll get about 30 to 40% of the pillar's diameter in that time frame. There are no obvious doors.
okay.
Obvious doors. You're not feeling as though there's some natural rock formation door there, which you've learned to trust your instincts about this sort of thing. And Allie, you've got no sense that there's a secret door there. You've learned to trust your instincts about this sort of thing. Now, does that mean there might not be one 40 feet up? But nothing obvious.
Elf and dwarf radar, yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. So a rock radar. Okay. So you're moving in that general direction. There you go. You're moving in that general direction. After about another 2 rounds of movement, and now the horns are going off about every 2 rounds, right? So they're kind of closing in. You get the impression you've got if they're moving faster than you, maybe they'll be on you in 5 or less minutes. You're going to encounter what is a curved wall. Yeah, you've hit a side wall to this chamber. You can see it just sort of goes up. So this is definitely underground, and it's definitely hemmed in. If you follow the sidewall, it might lead to a passageway.
Okay, let's go south along this wall because
Hmm.
they're converging on
South
us.
would require you to
Yeah.
go through it.
Oh,
It's
I
sort of
thought
a
we were-
bowl that, yes, you went directly west. You hit the wall. It's sort of a bowl. To the south is wall. To the north is curve for wall. The only way to go south would be to go out beyond edge of wall and then try to go south. Do that, and you've got a pretty good chance of running into one of those patrols. Now, Rhiannon may very well be right. They may be hurting you right now.
Yeah, okay. Well, Rhiannon's really in charge. So, like, what direction do you suggest we go?
This again? We've waited to the point where all the choices are bad ones, and now we're in charge again.
And so what's your advice?
Do you really need to ask me what my advice is?
So I was under the impression that the spell wouldn't burn that many people again.
Oh, you're saying if you were to do it. That's correct. You're less likely to set the woods ablaze. But you've got a number of companions with swords and other sharp weapons. I imagine you could probably take, well, I don't know how many of these patrols that you could take. And you do still have some additional spells you could learn. We could slug it out if that's what you wanted to do.
No. North or
Very
south?
well. Follow the wall. That's my advice. Eventually it'll lead to a cavern.
Yeah, I could have figured that one out on my own. Let's go north.
Just because we agree doesn't mean it's bad advice.
thanks for the input, Voicey.
So there's
So-
a moment while Rhiannon is engaged in a debate with her inner monologue, and where all of you are just like, okay, are we going? Kind of going
I
this
look
way?
forward to smiting that guy.
Well,
Okay,
actually,
so
I mean, I think at this point, doing a walk and talk makes the most sense rather than like standing stock still. So I
Gotcha.
think, like, since I was already thinking, like, just we're at a wall, we keep going north to keep going with the wall, and then the voice is like, do that. And I'm like, good thing I already was. So
All right, got it. So that's
Does
what
the
you will
wall
do.
does the wall end at a roof or something similar, or can we
Yeah.
see?
Yeah, the wall basically sort of slants upward, and it's sort of, there's a vaulted, you're clearly within a giant vaulted cavern. And you're at the edge of that giant vaulted cavern. And at a certain point where you kind of lose sight with the wall, it just looks like it's night sky. But whether that's just a sophisticated illusion or something more is anyone's guess. You'd have to get up there, which at present, I don't think you have a way to do. You've got a potion of flying somewhere in your inventory if you really wanted to give it a try. But anyway, so that direction is the one that you're headed in. Okay, so you will predictably, within a couple of rounds, spot in the distance in this case is like 60 plus feet, shadowed, for some reason I say shattered when I'm trying to say shadowed, a shadowed alcove, which is probably like a passageway or cave opening. You're about a round's worth of movement from it if everybody could please roll a 20-sided die.
Oh.
12.
Okay, 4, 5,
20.
and you are looking in the opposite direction.
What are you guys looking at? I don't see anything.
11.
So the only person who really makes something out, and that's largely because of that keen elven eyesight, is Allie. There is someone or something hiding. At least they're doing a pretty good job of hiding, although not a completely successful job of hiding because you just spotted them. Crouched down, dressed in dark colors, right sort of around the edge of the turn in that alcove. Something's waiting there for all of you, or someone else.
All right, I will hold a hand up
Mhm.
Just kind of like that very kind of vague, like hold up kind of gesture. And quietly, I'll kind of like, what I'm gonna do is kind of step closer to the wall.
Mhm.
Just to kind of make more of a harder angle between, the alcove and being able to see me at least, or us.
Given the vegetation and the distance, if you want to just move 6 feet to your left, you're good. You've blocked
Yeah.
unless that thing can see through rock, it cannot
Mhm.
see you.
There's someone up ahead waiting for us, or waiting for something. Crouched in the alcove.
Oh.
Can you be more
Um,
specific? Like humanoid?
Humanoid, dark figure, dressed in
Okay.
like it's hard to pick out exactly, but they're hiding. They're lurking for and waiting for something.
Or
I
just
could try to
trying
sneak closer.
or just trying to hide from the thing with the horns.
Possible. There they go
Possible.
again, those horns.
Look, I
They
can try
seem
to.
to have slowed slightly.
Hmm.
We get out of their territory, maybe they'll stop chasing us.
Should I scout ahead?
I think that's a good idea.
Can you shadow dance behind it? If you can tell which way it's facing?
I'm tapped out for the day, remember?
Okay.
I could sing and bardic influence it to influence it positively in our favor.
I feel like in this instance, singing might be detrimental to our purposes here.
Okay. All right.
Stealth song has not yet been invented.
Pantomime is a bardic performance.
do the
No?
mime situation here. Mime to them. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Allie, is it safe to say let's creep up and see how close I can get to this
Yeah.
thing before I can.
I'll creep up. And
Okay.
Try to get closer.
So, Allie, you'll creep about half the distance between where you are and where it is. You are, again, keeping the bulk of the cavern wall between you and it, so it can't see you creeping, and again, unless it can look through stone.
Mhm.
The horns just stopped behind you. You would have expected them to go off again, but they didn't. Now, maybe that's because the people who are blowing them also don't want to announce when they're within a certain range of all of you. But for whatever reason, it's gone kind of eerily quiet in that regard. However, the most alarming thing is that all of a sudden, near where the rest of you are clustered, waiting for Allie to do something, a person just steps out of a big tree. It's a woman. This woman, she's petite, maybe 5 feet tall, 80, 90 pounds. She's wearing this sort of dirty emerald green robes. She has a staff that seems to be made of living wood. Her hair, she's pale. Her hair is long, black, and highly sort of like disorganized and tangled. She has emerald green eyes, and she looks very, very angry. So, what do you want to do?
And she obviously sees us, right?
Oh yeah, she just walked into the middle of your group
Oh,
I'm going to start singing.
to influence her reaction.
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to sing?
Oh, I know. I promised Jamal I'd write her a song.
So you'll start working on that one here. Is this just a cappella, or do you have like some sort of a musical instrument that you're hoping to use for this process?
Well, I have babies in both my arms. I'm assuming. We never really talked about it, but I'm assuming I have
maybe
babies in
you
both
sort
my
of like
arms.
push one to get a coup and push the other to get a coup, and you've got a musical accompaniment.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
I mean, I don't want to preclude like, other people doing other things. That's just what I start to do. So
Okay,
I can try to
so
influence it. But
Randy has decided that music is the solution to your dilemma.
I mean, it's what I
Joel?
can do. It's within my power to do.
Joel?
I'm going to, if I am not already between this woman and Gedrin, and ideally Randy as well, I'm going to maneuver myself so that to block that access.
All right, take up a defensive position or against the or in favor of the most vulnerable members of the party.
Yeah, not necessarily defensive, but more of a blocking position.
Okay,
So-
sounds entirely reasonable. Eric?
Let's see what Rhiannon does.
All right.
Oh.
I was going to come to you last, but I'll come to you now.
I mean, it also doesn't include other people. I'm just gonna, hold up my hands and say, we want to leave as much as you want us to leave.
Okay, so that is your statement, awaiting
Yeah.
a response. Okay. Eric, you've gotten your what is Rhiannon going to do?
I am going to support Rhiannon's angle all the way because that is 100% correct.
So how does one support
I
it
am
in
also
this
going
instance?
to try and seem not aggressive. Hold
Okay.
up my hands like this.
Hands will go up. Okay. Allie, you'll see this from a comfortable 30 feet away where you're not in the middle of this particular confrontation. And maybe, just maybe, this angry looking woman doesn't know you're here. So you got anything in this particular moment, or do you want to see how that conversation with Rhiannon plays out?
I think at the moment I would like to see how that plays out. I think what is the well, okay, first off, I'm gonna look toward the can I see the alcove from where I am?
Yes, you can see the mouth of the alcove, but because you're
Mouth,
keeping the in other words, to not be seen, you are also going to make it so it's difficult for you to see the person unless they move closer to you.
Okay. I'm stuck with a choice here, basically. I could try to maneuver and intercede, like maneuver around so that I can jump in if things do get hairy. But also I don't want to leave us exposed to whoever the hell that is in the alcove. So I think I'm going to keep an ear out, but I'm going to keep moving.
Okay, hunker down and, keep moving quietly with the goal of getting right to the edge of the alcove so you could just roll right around it.
Yes.
Okay, so you will do that this round. Rhiannon, you will turn in the direction of the woman, put up your hands, make your general statement, and she will look over at you because you're the one in the group who talked. That must mean you're in charge. And she will say, it does, it totally does. Murderers! You will die for that. Do you know how many squirrels you've killed? Do you know how many birds you've incinerated? Do you know how many ants just died at your hands? She's looking collectively. I don't think she knows it was you, Rhiannon.
Oh, I ain't gonna tell her.
So, anyone got something for that, or Eric?
We did not ask the Malar cultists to attack us. If any fault is to be held, it should be held to them.
Okay, so that's Eric. Okay.
That's what I say.
Hopefully she'll think that means he did it. I'm ready if I'm needed. Do you wish to smirk or chuckle when it says that to you?
I look forward to smiting that guy.
So, I mean, sorry, I hit my mic. I'm thinking, I can't run very fast, but, continuing to run is the best solution at this point. We're not going to talk our way out of this.
Probably.
So, honestly, I'm going to start running again because y'all can catch me up without even breathing hard. And so I should, get on my way.
Do you have a destination in mind?
Along the wall still.
Okay. Are you hoping to end up in the same place Allie's headed to, even though you don't know exactly where Allie's headed?
So she was checking out, a person. So I kind of like to skip along and, keep going.
All right, so beyond the alcove and just sort of see where else maybe there's other alcoves or passageways. We'll go to one of those. Okay, so oh noble heroes, your fearless leader
bravely ran away.
Stop running, and you're like, oh.
I'm just imagining this moment. This moment of silence, and then booking it. No other.
So you'll be stunned for a second. You said that bit about the Malar people, and then Rhiannon just freaking, I'm outie, and took off.
It
Okay.
doesn't really surprise me. It's fine.
That's a smart move.
I'm like running away makes sense.
I'm going to say Gedrin run, and then I'm going to have my shield out, rush the druid, dryad, whatever she is, and try to knock her down to give us time to, So that's my action for this round. And if I succeed, any movement I have left, I'm going to be moving toward the entrance.
Okay, so bump her is the goal.
Ideally, knock her down, yes.
Okay, and then if you succeed, turn around and run the other way.
Yes.
Okay.
Run from the angry druid.
Right, well, I'm trying to give
are-
everybody else a head start, because I'm assuming Gedrin is probably the slowest person here.
I don't know.
I mean,
Well, okay.
okay. Well, I know what you're up to, Joel, and I know what you're up to, Rhiannon. Randy?
Is my song affecting her?
I mean,
No,
it
apparently
might
not.
have, might have done something had there not been dialogue.
No,
and
I
then,
know.
Yeah.
Clearly. I see Allie head off. I see Rhiannon booking it. I look down at the two babies and I'm like, yeah. I run after Rhiannon.
Okay. So also a moment later, after you process the situation, you'll hoof it in Rhiannon's direction, Eric.
I'm going to conjure Vindicator.
Okay.
I do
Woof.
not wish to fight, but I will fight if I must.
Okay. So, it looks like Joel's running right at the. And Allie, what do you want to do?
I mean, I still want to try to get the drop on whoever's in that alcove. I don't know.
So that's really that's now your foremost concern.
That is my foremost concern. Although if I've noticed that they are just booking it, I'm like, just focus. Just try
Gotcha.
to...
You're doing your thing. Let them do their thing, and we'll see how all these things play out. All right.
Yeah.
So the only people I really need to roll initiative right now are me, Joel, and Eric. Everybody else is doing a thing that initiative's not really terribly relevant for. I rolled a 10.
I rolled a 1.
And
Still looking for
Eric?
a D10. Here we go.
I'm still looking for a D10.
I also rolled a 10. Good.
Okay.
Great.
So it looks like it's all you, Joel. I
All
gotta
right.
tell you, probably most people did not expect you to do what you're doing right now. So headlong rush at this mad druid. Could you roll twice on that for me?
Sure.
Mhm.
And that is an 8.
Okay, so that druid's a lot more nimble than you thought she was going to be, because she just sort of rolled to the left as you came chugging in to smash her with your shield. You did take her attention off of Rhiannon and Randy, who are running, though, so I mean, that's great news. She's starting to chant. Eric?
I'm going to hit her with the sword.
Okay, close in and attack.
This is what I didn't want to happen.
I know.
Rhiannon, remember, you're in charge.
I mean, if I'd yell at him, don't attack, like, do you think that would have made a difference? No.
We're
no, it would not.
distracting her to allow you,
You
to
can
escape.
try it right now. I mean, it's hard to run in this environment. So I'm sure your natural human tendency to look back over your shoulder is kicking in, and you're looking periodically as you're trying to avoid tripping on things. You saw Joel miss, but now Eric's wading in with a blade. If you want to yell, "Don't attack," you can.
I mean, leave her alone.
Okay, leave Brittany alone. Okay, Eric, what are your
swinging
feelings
my
about
sword
that?
at Brittany.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh no!
I don't mean to hurt her. I mean to
Right.
smack her with the flat of the blade, disrupt her spellcasting, possibly knock
Okay.
her unconscious. That's what I'm going for.
So
Now I'm
there's
invested in Brittany, and I don't want you to hurt.
there's a bunch of different options that you just sort of articulated there when it comes to 2E. Do you want to try to knock her unconscious, or are you literally just trying to hit her?
I'm gonna try and knock her unconscious.
Okay, kiddo, give it
I
give it
don't
your
know
best
how.
shot.
Well, okay. Why don't you tell me how hard these relative things are? Because you just presented them as being.
Sure, yeah. So knocking someone unconscious is a called shot. It automatically takes away certain attack modifiers, damage modifiers, etc. It does carry with it a percentage chance if you hit and do some damage, a reasonable opportunity to knock a person out. 5% per point of damage you do, you're just using base damage for the weapon because you can't apply anything else to it at this particular moment. But I mean, you do 8 points of damage, that's a 40% chance. You got to hit first, though, and that's probably the tricky bit here. If you just attack and you're trying to pull your punch so that you don't want to, say, add your weapon damage and your strength damage to the hit, you're just trying to hit for purpose of disabling the person, then
Damn, I'm
really...
just going to attack her. Here we go.
All right, go ahead.
I rolled a 17.
Okay, so that's a pretty good armor class, to be honest. And you will, in fact, tag her as she is in the midst of calling upon this magic, which was making the ground tremble till you whacked her with your blade. Now, she's got enough hit points that she's not going to actually bleed from that hit, but you will do damage, so if you could roll that.
So I rolled a 5, which I don't know all my modifiers.
Yeah,
myself,
that's
I don't have
good
a
enough.
sheet.
So
Okay.
you will give her a nice heavy smack with that blade, and she'll be surprised that you hit her and interrupted her spell casting. Well, it seems to be on over there, Rhiannon. I mean, whatever is going on seems to be on. Allie, you're right at the point where if you wanted to just try to peek around that bend, you'd be making a chance or a roll to hide while putting one half of your eyeball around the thing to see if you could see more about the person on the opposite side of it.
Okay.
You want to risk that?
Yes.
All right. Percentile dice for me, please. I'm going to let you roll this. I, as the DM, could always just roll these rolls when you're dealing with thief rolls. I like to
Okay.
let the players roll.
All right, rolling now.
Mhm.
I got 44.
Okay, so you're feeling like maybe you're going to get a second where you're going to get a chance to get a look at this person where they're probably not going to see you. If you just, ding, ding, duck back. So you're feeling pretty good about that. So roll twice-sided die for me.
Okay. Six.
All right, so a couple things here. Initially you saw one person. It looks like it's more than one person. It looks like it's at least 3 individuals. It's now that you're close enough, you can kind of see the other ones that were hiding a little bit further back. Good news, bad news. Good news is they're not really focused on you. Bad news is that they seem to be focused on a running Rhiannon, who in just a couple of moments is going to make it out, like sprinting across that open space that is in front of this alcove, trying to just go beyond. When I say that they're oriented on Rhiannon, it's because they're pointing these small hand crossbows in Rhiannon's
take
direction. Oh, these are elves. Oh, these are dark elves. Oh, the lead dark elf she's got belted at her waist a silver sword, and she's wearing a medallion which has the moon and a sword. I know what these are.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. I
Do
think.
some bonding. Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Friendlies.
So I'm going to.
Same side. Same side.
I mean, I'm kind of gonna do that, honestly.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm going to.
First impressions are very important.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. How to do this the best way. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hands up.
Mhm.
Nowhere near my weapons. Completely like visibly
So-
unarmed.
Stepping out into the open.
I'm stepping out into the open.
Okay.
All right, and
You've probably got an instant to say something because good news, bad news situation. Great news! Rhiannon just ran by and all 3 of those crossbows leveled on you instead of Rhiannon.
in the name of the dark.
Bad news on you!
Yeah, in the name of the Dark Maiden, don't shoot.
Okay, so you'll say that in common.
Yes,
Okay. So
the only language I know.
the only language I know and my favorite, common. So a couple things will happen. You will say that. You will see in the eyes of the lead drow. Oh, she's she's like also pretty tiny. She's like a little under 5 feet tall. Maybe she's like 4'10" or something like that. And she's got long white hair, and she has red eyes, and she's kind of like, I mean, if she were an anime character, she'd be very cute, but she looks kind of fierce and cute. They have this alien beauty. I mean, you've seen elves, so you know what alien beauty looks like, but it's even sort of more interesting than that. And yeah, surprise initially, and she's using one hand with the hand crossbow. With her left hand, the back 2 fingers of her left hand, she'll make a single gesture. That was probably a couple of words in Drow sign language, because you'll see the other 2 crossbows that were about to go off dip slightly so that they're not aimed at you. She will say, in common, "You better have a good explanation." And that's the round. So, Eric, you're in close, smacking a druid with your sword. What do you want to do this round?
I am going to present her with another opportunity to leave.
Okay. So, once again, give her a chance to surrender or depart. And if not, you'll take actions as appropriate.
Correct.
Okay. Joel, you could have stuck around because Eric's in melee, or you could have turned around to start the retreating process. Which of the 2 of those did you do?
I think I'm sticking around until everybody who is running is to the cave entrance. And I'm going to do a wrestling attack this turn and try to get her in a bear hug. So not doing lethal damage, but just enough to disrupt her spell is my goal.
To be clear, to hug a bear, one must drop one's shield, or at least stow it.
I don't think that's true, but okay. Sure.
Well, you're a dwarf, so yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of hugging her around the waist.
Crush her down onto the ground and just lie on the shield.
So you're saying basically, I'm just going to leave the shield strapped to that arm.
Yeah, I'm going to leave the shield's already on the arm, so just try to pin her arms and be like,
you can do that.
We really don't want to fight you.
Okay.
If you give us a choice.
And Brittany says, "Hold me closer."
Come on, baby, one more time. I don't know. Anyway, so you're, Joel, going to do that. Eric, I know what you're doing. Randy, you're hoofing it. You're about to go past the mouth of this alcove alley, standing out in the open, saying stuff in common. You can't quite make it out. There goes Rhiannon.
I'm just following Rhiannon to keep the children safe, also because I figure, if it comes down to it, she's the one most likely to be able to blast anything that's endangering us. So I'm gonna stay close to her.
Entirely reasonable. Rhiannon, could you roll a 20-sided die for me for what you might have spotted while you were just zipping by?
Okay. 9.
It looked like Allie was trying to engage in conversation with whoever or whatever was in that alcove. So, I mean, great. But you didn't get quite much of a look at it. Just mysterious figure over there. So, do you care or just keep on going?
Allie very much can take care of herself. So, it's not fighting. It's still talking. So, keeping going.
Okay, keep them going. You're gaining distance on this. By the end of this round, you're going to be out of altogether visual range from that crazy druid. So, yay.
Okay, that's good.
There's Randy. Randy's coming up behind you. Okay. So once again, I'm going to handle the druid combat first, and then I'll come to you, Allie, and we'll do your stuff in sort of like a separate round. So Joel and Eric, D10s for me. I rolled a 2 this time.
I rolled a 2 as well.
I rolled a 9, so hopefully Eric hits her.
Okay. So did you want to say something before you did the hitting?
Yes. What I'm going to say is, as you are a guardian of nature, I am a guardian of these folk. And if you threaten them, it is as though we threaten your nature. We can both stand down and not have this fight. And I'm ready to hit her if she starts casting a spell again.
Could you roll 2 10-sided dice for me? Add them together. And tell me what the number is.
It's a 3.
Okay,
I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Generally high is good. Generally high is good in these situations.
I don't know. Okay.
Maybe
well,
the
I
fact
can't make
that
the dice be what I want them to be.
maybe the fact that you conked her in the side of the head last round and there's now a bruise coming up from that location has put her past the I really want to chat with this guy philosophy, but I don't know. She's swinging at you with that staff, which is crackling with energy.
Great.
Hang on 1 second. Okay, so she will connect with the staff. Two things happen. One, she's not terribly physically strong, Eric. So while the staff is very sturdy, it's only going to do 3 points of damage to you. Now, you're in reels.
Die in one hit
Yeah.
again. Oh,
You're
good.
in reels, so that's, all damage hurts. So she just cracked a rib.
Yeah, ow.
Yeah, like, oh my God, lady, please. But the energy that crackled off that staff, somehow your sword intercepted it because it just crackles along you to the sword and into nothingness.
Great.
Ooh, that's kind of nifty. Okay, so did you want to hit back or?
Okay, I deserve that. But stand down. I don't want to kill you.
Okay, so she'll
No, I'm
give
gonna
you.
I'm gonna
She'll
hold
give
back
you a
from striking.
mad laugh, like mad laugh
Oh,
when you
I'm
say
definitely
that.
gonna have to kill her then. Okay, fine.
Maybe because she thinks that you killing her seems unlikely in this situation, but I mean, I don't know. She could just be mad. It's hard to say. Joel, here's your moment. Hug that bear.
I guess. Let's roll a d20.
Mhm.
Okay.
This is
That's
a
an 18.
dumpster
This may be my
fire.
first hit of the campaign.
Yay!
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Okay, so Joel, basically, you're having the conversation, Eric. She whacks you, and you say, I deserve that, but I don't want to kill you. She starts laughing madly, and Joel jumps her, right? And so she goes down under Joel. So Joel, you're now using your dwarvish body weight, which is considerable,
Mhm.
to pin
Plus
this
the
rather,
armor, right?
Armored body weight, no less.
To pin this
I'm
rather-
probably like 300 pounds total.
to pin this rather slight woman to the ground. She's bucking and growling at you. She seems even angrier than she was a moment before.
I wonder why.
So, Allie, let's talk about your round for a moment. Okay,
All right.
so you got you'd better have a good explanation or a good answer. Here's your moment for that.
Whether it's good or not is an entirely different thing. It will be interesting. I promise. We're not your enemies.
So you'll pause for a response from we're not your enemies.
Yeah.
You do, however, appear to be Willow's enemies, and this is the Willow Wood.
Not intentionally. We encountered some trouble, and one of my comrades had to defend us rather explosively.
By starting a blaze in the forest? Oh, gee, Allie, you know how I said there were 3? There are 5. 2 males towards the back, 2 females, and then her. They look like fighters. They're dressed in a sort of like a motley assortment of drow equipment. Definitely more Elistray than traditional drow, what you would expect traditional drow to. Oh, wow, there are 3. Each of the women in this group has one of those silver swords buckled to her belt. None of them have taken them out. They're all armed with the hand crossbows at this point. You know those are probably poisoned. Only the leader appears to be a priestess, however, based upon the holy symbol. So, starting a fire in the forest?
Also not the intent, but sometimes my comrades' magic can get a little out of hand.
Dark lady, she'll say, and she's looking over your shoulder. Would you like to briefly look in that direction?
No.
You figure it's bad. You don't even know how
I
bad
am
it is.
keeping my eyes firmly affixed
Okay.
on all of them.
Yeah.
We're a bit unorthodox.
I'd
but-
say so, she'll say. Your dwarven friend just jumped her. That's not going to end well.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Point being, I don't know what affiliation you have with the druid. I'm guessing that's who that is. But
You would be correct.
We're
We
just
are
trying.
You would be correct. We are not strictly affiliated with her, but as neighbors, we try to be friends. And my mistress has invested much time and energy in attempting to maintain a positively neutral stance towards Lady Willow. Setting fires in her woods is rule number 1 to avoid. Are you a worshiper of the Dark Maiden?
I'm not an adherent to any particular god, but I'm
An eyebrow will go up at that.
a fan.
She'll smile when you say a fan. Okay, so meanwhile, so Rhiannon and Randy's only about 10 feet behind you, Rhiannon, because remember what we talked about. And you're like 60 feet past that opening. The wall is starting to curve around, so like it's gonna block you in this way now. You're out of visual range of all of the people behind you doing whatever crazy nonsense they're doing back there. Do you want to stop, keep going, do something else entirely?
So where the drow are, did that seem like that was, well, I didn't get a good look, because I mean, I was assuming that was somewhere they had just sort of stepped off, but if it's a passage to somewhere, that's where we need to get.
It is a passage to somewhere. You only kind
Okay.
of got that intel as you went by it. It looked like an alcove. It turned out to be more than an alcove. And you were like, ooh, there are people in there. I don't necessarily want to find out what's going on. And Randy was on your heels. Hey, Randy, why don't you roll a 20-sided die for me? Let's see what you saw when you ran past the open alcove.
An 8.
Ooh, you got a better look at what was going on in there, because they were no longer trying to hide so much when you ran by. They were engaged in conversation with Allie. There were at least 3 drow women carrying hand crossbows pointed at Allie when you ran by that alcove.
Hey, Rhiannon, I guess Allie's facing some drow in that cave back there. They seem to be chatting, and she wasn't pincushioned when I ran by, at least.
Well, okay. It's getting to a stop. Doesn't look like it's good to keep going this way. Well, let's hope they were getting long, because I think we got to go past them.
Okay, so stop and begin turning back in the opposite direction. All right, let's talk to the combat bros. So combat bros, what do you got for me? Eric, Joel's rolling around on the ground with an angry druid.
I'm trying to think of a solution other than attacking her.
Okay, that's reasonable.
I
So
mean,
do you-
Run
I don't want to abandon
away.
Joel to be killed either.
Uh,
Like, she showed up, she stepped out of a tree, she said we were going to die, and she was charging up magic. She was just going to blast us as we were running away, right? Like, I don't see what I could have done differently here. Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's
You drew out your
Okay.
sword. You attacked.
Anyway, so I mean, Joel's got her pinned at the moment, so maybe he's got the situation under control.
Can you grab her staff? Do we get the impression the
Yeah.
staff is a spellcasting focus?
I mean, you get the impression the staff is magical.
Okay. So I
Okay.
yell to him, grab the staff,
Yeah,
and
all right.
we'll book it.
I'm going to pick up the staff.
Okay, so you'll go to grab the staff. You, Joel. Now the thing about bear hugs, is that you got to maintain them.
Mhm.
So you're kind of locked in
Yep.
bear hugginess right at this particular moment. Okay, cool.
Aww.
So I'm not
Now-
going to bother to roll initiative because things are just going to happen.
Okay, so quick
No.
question: where's Gedrin? Because we haven't mentioned him in the last 2 rounds.
he went running off in the direction of Randy because that's what you
Right,
told
but
him
can
to
we
do.
still see him?
No, those guys are gone. They've made it to safety, Joel.
Okay.
You've made the ultimate
Okay, so-
sacrifice.
Well, I hope not. But okay, once Eric has the staff in his hands, and hopefully starts running, I'm gonna, do the same.
Okay.
Maybe- Yeah.
Did we just mug that druid?
Well, we can throw
Hard
the
to
Bumped
say.
herself against us.
You'll
Yeah.
see.
She
what
was
we
being
just-
very aggressive. I fully support Eric.
You'll see what just happened in a moment. Okay, so Eric, you will go grabbing for the staff, which she dropped. So all you need to do is hit AC 10. How hard can that be? Roll twice
This
at
is
a
going
die.
to be very unfortunate. Okay, here we go.
Picking up an object takes a roll.
Yeah, in combat.
I rolled a 16.
Oh, good to go, buddy. You just grabbed that thing. It's warm to the touch. Delightful. Doesn't like blow up in your hands or anything like that. And now you're
That-
holding a staff. How
I
about
guess
that?
that's good.
So Joel, here's the thing. You know how bear hug? You were in a bear hug?
I was, yes. Wait,
Yeah, you're now about to be in a different kind of bear hug.
Yeah.
You're about to be hugged by a bear.
Yeah.
And I say this because the druid will just start like trembling under. Oh my God, she's turning into a bear. That's so much bigger than she was a moment ago.
Yep.
You know,
Now it's time to book it.
It's kind of funny. Like, we should have seen this coming. But
Gee.
Maybe
Done rough.
somebody did. I don't know.
well, maybe
couple
if somebody
people.
hadn't blown up half the forest. Anyway, we get to this later. Okay.
All right, so let's return to Allie and Allie's new friends. So we left the conclusion of last round with I'm a fan. Please.
I'm familiar with the Dark Maiden and the work of her followers, and I appreciate what you all do.
That result was entirely predictable. She's looking over your shoulder. If you have any influence over your friend, I recommend you use it now. He's in an altogether different sort of bear hug.
And at that point, I will glance back, like briefly.
Okay, so holding on to a tiny woman is now holding on to a giant bear.
But I'm still
He's
on top
trying.
of the bear, right?
Trying to extricate himself now from this bear.
And I'll say, Joel, run!
That's the plan.
Well, yes, that we were brought here by accident. None of us expected to be dumped into Undermountain.
Half of the people in Undermountain were brought here by accident. Who are you? Who do you serve? If you want us to speak for you and do what we can to save you from this situation, which is turning uglier by the moment, you're going to need to give us some information that we can use. Hang on to that thought for just 1 second, because Randy and Rhiannon, are we moving slowly back towards the drow? No.
Absolutely not. No, I thought I picked some daisies and come up with a nice bouquet.
Okay. Here you
That
go.
seems reasonable.
So then, at exactly that moment, right, Allie, hustling up and then coming to a stop is now Randy, Rhiannon, and the kids. Use that
All right.
conversational prop as you desire.
So, and I'm going to sort of step behind Randy and like sort of like be like, hey, look, we have innocent children.
Innocent children, the password to every safe house in America.
The
There we go.
ultimate shield.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway. Okay, so Allie.
All right. My name's Amara Valerian. These are my companions, Randonius and Rhiannon. And, well, we have small children with us. I kind of said, kind of like slightly like, I wish we didn't, but we do, kind of tone. We're just trying to get to somewhere safe. We don't serve anyone. We're just trying to find a way out of here. Or at least away from... And she'll vaguely gesture at all of that.
Whatever's going on over there
Yeah.
with the druid. Yeah. Okay. So pause there for an instant. So Rhiannon and Randy, you both heard that. You know who you're looking at because I described previously who you're looking at, and now you actually have the ability to see all 5 of these drow. They have crossbows, hand crossbows, like lightly aimed in your direction, but nobody's, looking down the barrel of one of those things at you at this particular moment. It appears as though the leader, who is probably a priestess and a fighter rolled into one, is engaged in honest and earnest conversation with Allie. Although paying attention to whatever's going on beyond, you can see, ooh, that was unexpected. So let's leap back over to the boys for a second. Okay, so Joel, do you want to try and roll off this angry bear as it rolls to its feet?
Not so much rolling as like scrambling forward, trying to just come to my feet as I move up and forward and make for the entrance.
Okay.
And if Eric is not already running, I yell, "Run, bear!"
Eric,
Yeah, I'm running.
Okay, good.
All right, so you'll take off in that direction. The bear will roar once, really loudly, sort of shaking the trees in the area, and then head off in pursuit. Looks like this whole little party's going to come to a collision in and around the mouth of that alcove.
About how many rounds do I think I have until I hit the mouth of the alcove?
Oh, just one, really.
Okay, so next round?
Mm-hmm.
Probably? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Allie, we left you off at that particular moment. You introduced yourselves, we're just here, whatever. She'll sigh once deeply. Again, look back in the direction of her people who will lower their hand crossbows. She will tuck it into a loop and step out into the open, drawing forth her sword.
Oh no.
She's walking past you, Allie. Rhiannon,
right.
Randy, would you like to get out of the way?
Yes.
Or think.
Or discover
I'm gonna
she's
roll.
coming for
No,
you.
yes.
Okay. So she is in fact not headed at you. She is in fact headed past you. And the second her sword clears its scabbard, you'll notice that it is a bastard sword. It is clearly enchanted by the fact that it is lightly glowing, sort of like moonlight, along the runes on its blade. And it will begin singing in a deep woman's voice in Elfish when it gets drawn forth from the blade. And it's really quite beautiful. And it's like calming, right? The tone of the song from the sword is designed to soothe the savage beast, if you will. Okay. Hey, Eric and Joel. Well, that's an unexpected situation that you're about to roll into. It looks like there's a drow lady with a singing song, and then and then your friends are there. Okay, so did you want to do something as you roll into that situation? An angry bear right behind you.
Coming through! And they just barrel past her.
Okay.
Friendly's coming through.
Hey, Eric.
I'm gonna stop slightly behind her and turn protectively to put myself between the bear and everyone else. Except for her.
Okay.
She's obviously knows what she's doing, so I'm the second line of defense.
Should the bear somehow get through her.
Right.
Okay. So, the bear will come roaring up and stop about 6 feet ahead of the woman with the sword, who has it high in a non-threatening way that's just designed to allow the sword to have its singing voice echo clearly across the cavern. And you'll see the bear pause for a moment. Its preternaturally intelligent gaze settling on the sword and its bearer. And then it will just shiver for an instant, and you'll have a druid standing in front of you. Do any of you want to do anything that I should know about during the conversation that's about to ensue between this druid and this priestess of Elistray?
It kind of depends on what's said.
Reserve the right for rebuttal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
mean, it definitely has my attention.
Yeah.
So there are other drow sort of in this passageway.
Mhm.
And so I plan to, like, hands not up, but like in clear sight, sort of like walk a little bit up to them and say, can we get the babies in, and may we pass through to get the babies a little into the passage?
Okay, and Randy, I assume since that seems to be a thing, you'd like to join in on it? Okay. When you do that, the drow women are paying very careful attention to what's going on between their mistress and the druid, right? But they'll flick their gaze over at you, flick their gaze down at the children, and they'll take a protective step forward so that now there is them ahead of you and the children between their mistress and the druid. And Eric, who's also up there being all guardian-like. Nicely done, Eric. Very guardian of you.
Yeah, it's like I'm playing my character and
It's
myself.
It's like you're playing a character and you're all rolled into one.
Mhm.
So the druid will say, Ilzreen, what are you doing? And Ilzreen, who is obviously this nice drow lady, will say, Willow, I understand that you are upset. And justifiably so. But these beings are new to your wood. They did not know. How much do you need to know not to use fire in the woods? Did not know your first rule, and they are bearing children. Do you know how many children died in that blast? Because I do, Ilzreen. We do not wish to fight with you here. They appear to be goodly folk. They've an elf and a dwarf among them. I'm sure they are very sorry for what they just did. She will, with her left hand, move her last two fingers just ever so slightly in a way that's not designed to attract the attention of the druid. Remember, swords in the right hand. And you will get, Allie, a from one of the two female drow. Almost as if this is your moment to say a thing.
Oh, okay. I wasn't anticipating saying anything.
You can grab me and like shove me forward.
It was her.
No.
She did it.
No.
It's okay. So
Brandon did not say shove her under the bus. She said forward.
No, but like I can step forward.
Mm-hmm.
We really mean you in this place no harm. We were thrust here by
Angry druid gaze just snapped over to you. Okay, go ahead.
We were thrust here by powers we didn't understand and attacked by servants of, well, my guess would be, given what they had on them, servants of Malar. We defended ourselves, but didn't mean to harm anyone else. All we want is to get to safety.
I have not heard an apology for the lives that you've cost.
And we are sorry.
What's more, Mrs. Ildreen, we promise to take them into our care, to forthwith depart these woods, taking them to our home, and to make sure, and she's kind of glancing at you, Eric, because you're close enough to be glanced at, that they do not step foot in these woods ever again. That's if you're going to say something like, we're coming back to these woods when we want to, lady, this is your moment, Eric. Otherwise, you've agreed to never step foot in these woods again.
No, I was gonna do a thing that supports this.
World's easiest promise.
Mhm.
I will banish the sword,
Mhm.
and I will say, Lady Willow, we meant no offense. We did not realize we were in your wood.
You
But
now have an angry druid looking right at you.
harm has been done, and we will make amends for this. In addition to never returning here, give us a task to do for you.
She'll cock her head at that. replace the trees you've destroyed through the action of the inhabitants of the promenade.
It shall be done. I offer her the staff back.
All right, she'll take it from you. You've an agreement, Ilzreen. Get gone. And she'll turn her back, like she's done with this matter altogether. Ilzreen will turn to you, Eric, and say, you heard the woman.
I did. Thank
Let's
you,
go.
my lady.
Okay. And so you all turn in that general direction and begin moving into the passageway? Is that correct?
Is Gedrin with us?
Yes.
You have to keep
Everyone
an eye
in
on
your
him at
group
this
is
age.
together.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
This kid's smarter than you give him credit for, because he's not one.
Yeah, but like a cute fox comes out of the forest and he's like, "Hey,
Then
let's
we
go see
might
what
have
this
a
is all
problem.
about."
Yeah, well,
you know.
just-
Then we might have a problem.
Parents
Anyway.
know.
As you're departing the alcove, we will take our first break of the day.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've
All
got
right.
to do this
We'll
now.
be back
for-
in a few minutes. Don't go away.
Oh, sorry.
All right, and we're back. All
Thank
right,
you
so
very much.
We are now in the company of some drow ladies and their drow boys, and see where this goes.
I guess you will see where it goes. Well, the first place that it goes is down this passageway. It's dark in here, but between the moonlight that's coming off of the blade that she still has out, it has stopped singing, but it is still out. The capability all of you have to fluoresce your marks, etc., you'll get through it without tripping all over yourselves. It'll go for probably 100 or more feet, and it's sort of curving over like an upside down banana as it goes, right? And you're approaching the exit to it after just a couple rounds of travel, and you can see sort of like the moonlight coming in the distance and more forest. So you just were on one forest, went through a passageway that took you into even more forest. But before you step forth from that, the leader of your little group, Ilzreen, will stop and turn to you all. Now, Allie, because of the way that this situation is rolled out, Ilzreen is assuming that you are in the speaker role or in charge of this party of adventurers, because so far you were the one that parlayed with her and parlayed with the druid and yada yada blah. So she's addressing you like that's in fact the case. She will say, all right, I am Ilzreen Ahran, Hand of the Protectors of the Dark Maiden's Promenade. If you are to accompany us there, I must know some things about you and where you are from to know that you are no threat to our people, and you must agree to be hooded for the next few moments, so you do not see the gate that we will be taking.
We can agree to that.
Yes.
There will be no need to hood the children, she will say. So then we just need to hear your tale. And the Malarites will simply be going the other way around. So you might want to tell it with some speed.
Well then, all of us are, well, we just recently left the city of Westgate. Unfortunately, we got into some trouble trying to protect these children and dealing with a number of members of the Night Masks in that city. But due to some swift intervention, thanks to the God Finder, that my friend here, Randonius, is something of an adherent of. We were
I do
able
not
to
know this finder. What is his charge?
He is a god of creation, of inspiration, of the cycle of art and wonder. Is this not correct, Randonius?
Yeah, inspiration, songination, dancination. He does it all.
I tried to spare you that, my lady.
If you can sing and dance, Randonius, you will probably find the promenade a place that you will very much enjoy. But
No.
why did you not tell me yourself? Why did you instead allow... That's a, who are you? Pause.
I am Elric, Knight of
Th-
Helm.
This devotee of Helm, god of guardians, to answer for you. It would seem you'd be proud of your god and your worship of him.
Oh, I mean, I'm proud of the mission of spreading joy and creativity and order throughout the realms, for sure. I just, I'm humble about it. So, and
And
I
you
always
did
like to
suggest
hear what my
haste.
friends think. It's always interesting to hear about yourself from others' perspectives. I think it's a wise thing to do.
Well spoken, she'll say. So that just leaves two of you. She's looking at you, Joel.
My name is Joel. What else would you like to know?
Are you a priest of some faith?
I am not.
Champion of some faith?
Not particularly associated with any faith.
Okay, that'll generate a little bit of a, like, okie dokie. Not even Dumathoyan? Or Moradin?
Not particularly.
First dwarf I've ever met who answered that question that way. Well, outside of Duragar. And that just leaves one.
So, I have some core skills in magic that I am still trying to get a handle on.
Be very careful with these creatures. They're dangerous regardless of what god they claim to worship. They are chaos incarnate. Do not trust them.
Oh, like I don't trust you? I mean, I'm really good at this, so.
Demonstrate that with the rest of your remarks.
Well, I mean,
bit
so
of
that
magic.
was what I gave him. So
Okay, so that was really it.
Yep.
Well demonstrated. Does that mean that you're the source of the fire in the woods?
Fire spreads, and a small spark. It's hard to contain it, especially when you are still, I guess, kind of an apprentice. So
That was a look of blatant incredulity. that obvious eyebrow raise was like, well, what? you want to? Yes, I'm sticking with it, apprentice.
She's a great deal of potential.
I don't
She's still
know if-
feeling out the limits of her power.
What did you give
Her
as a
magic
name?
is wild
Rhiannon?
and powerful.
What did you
well,
give
so
as a name?
Allie gave my name earlier, so
I
I'm
did,
not.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
not saying that.
she will say, I don't know if you've noticed this. Rhiannon, is it not?
Hmm.
That forest is really more of a jungle. There's a lot of water pouring down from the tops of those trees. We detected that blast from quite a distance away. I'm afraid a simple apprentice, really only seeking to understand the origin of their powers, would not be capable of such a feat. If you're a powerful wizard wishing to travel incognito among your friends, that's understandable. Don't take us for fools.
So, you clearly, and I sort of like gesture you to her sword, have some understanding of magic, that there is raw power and then there is skill in wielding it. And the two are not the same.
Interesting. Very interesting. I have someone I think you're going to want to speak to. Oh boy.
That I
Finally.
Okay. So you all make those remarks, have your introductions. This isn't the only entity that's interested in sharing thoughts about this whole situation with these drow. As a matter of fact, there are a few that want to weigh in. So we're going to do that right now. Randy, you'll notice as you're having this conversation and people are, back and forth, chit-chatting, et cetera, that suddenly, standing next to the nice drow lady is Jamal. Jamal is dressed like in dark black leathers, like she's meant to be creeping about mysteriously in the woods. She's not armed, and she looks a little older than the last time you saw her. The last time you saw her, she looked about 18. She looks maybe 10 years older than that. And she's just standing next to this drow woman. She just wasn't there one moment. She's just there the next moment, and she'll give you a wink.
Take it. None of the rest of us see that.
So
I kind of
nobody
like,
else saw that.
Is there some? Oh, yeah, I know. Well, okay. You're just
Nobody
telling
else.
me that.
Nobody.
Okay.
No, everybody else would have responded.
Yeah.
It's obvious the only person who can see her is you, because she's standing right next to this drow woman who, not dumb, and the rest of your party didn't pick up on that wink or any of that other stuff. Just, for all intents and purposes, it looks like you just randomly winked at this drow woman. So, I mean, whatever.
Which,
That's the thing you do.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, why wouldn't you indeed? So do you want to say anything? Probably not, huh?
Nope. I think I'll just.
She will say something to you.
Okay.
She will say, we talked about this before. I don't know why I'm whispering. No one else can see me but you. But I can see what's going on around you. And if they plan to hood you so that you can't see what's going on, well, then it sounds like you need me to keep an eye out. If you don't want me to do such a thing, just wave your hand away. If you do, smile at me right now.
Yeah, I'll smile at her. Yeah, I was thinking about like asking if I could like give them my word or something to not be hooded. I'm just nervous about the children. Like I feel like I in that situation would be like, yeah, I don't want to be walking around blindfolded carrying babies. But
okay,
yeah.
Seems totally reasonable under the circumstances. Okay,
yeah. So this is good.
So that's a thing that just happened. Allie, you'll hear that sort of like it's daytime and I'm straining voice coming from that soft purr that your Mark likes to give you. Be wary. Drow are naturally treacherous, even if they worship a goddess of good.
Noted.
Okay, very well. And hey, Joel, you've got your voice in your head as well. Well, lad, looks like we've found a way to rest after all.
I'm sorry, to rest? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Safe or semi-safe place, if you trust these drow. I've heard of Elistray. She's been around for a very long time.
I don't really have a response to that, so I'm going to ask Gedrin to since he will not be hooded, if he will take my hand and guide me. That also
He'll be
means
happy
that
to do that.
I can guarantee that he's staying within arm's reach and
He'll
not being...
also reach out a hand in the direction of Papa.
Yeah, I'd take his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now he's guiding the both of you. Feeling pretty good about it, as a matter of fact, because, hey, you guys need him to see.
That's right.
Okay. All right, so no response to your mark, however. It will continue on, because once it's on a roll, I guess it has things it wants to say. I'm working on a project, lad, to aid you and your friends. Get me somewhere where you can lay your head down, and I may be able to offer you something all tremendously valuable. There'll need to be some pledges, some signing, that sort of thing. But as long as everyone's willing to do that, I think I can do you all a considerable boon. Don't tell them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you were very clear earlier that I was not to acknowledge your existence. So, okay.
Well, no, you can acknowledge my existence to me. Don't acknowledge my existence to them. At
Right.
least don't do it outside of your heads. Something, you've got that, the tall one has denuded himself of the power to be able to hear you when you try to talk to his mind. But fortuitously, you've a way to give him that power back if you're willing. Are you interested?
Okay, what is that?
You've a trace of the power of his god inside you. You just have to give it to him. You'll need to touch him for that. And you'll probably want to let him know that that's what you're intending to do. But it'll restore his ability to use some of the latent powers of the mark, including the ability to communicate with you all in your minds. Like to like, that sort of thing.
Okay.
You're a taciturn one. I respect that.
Well, I mean, I can't communicate that. If I can't warn him now that I'm going to do it. Anyway, so if we get some alone time, we'll talk.
Okay. And finally, Rhiannon.
Hmm?
So are we going with these drow then?
Yes.
Fair enough. Just be aware of the fact that they've got their own agenda, and it doesn't involve these babes or their destiny. And also, the drow, as a race, carry with them a certain issue. They've an affinity for things demonic. Just remember that. It's dangerous, regardless of who they worship.
So noted.
Not liking the vibe. Not liking the vibe.
Spoken like a devil.
It's almost like, do you want to say that?
No.
She took her hand away.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So that
Yeah, I was ready for him to say that. He's like, so the drow as a race. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like,
oh,
what's he gonna say?
like my voice was borderline. Like it was riding the line, but that one was like,
Okay, buddy. Yeah.
All right. So,
and I have no one in my head. Blissful silence.
You're good to go.
I'm just like, it's okay, boy. You did well.
So
And I do whisper that to him as we go down the tunnel.
Okay.
Cut to the inside of Eric's head, and it's just the symbol. Like he just...
It's just the Benny Hill music.
All right. So they will hood you with these dark, it's probably spider silk, but it feels like silk. It's actually quite luxurious hoods, with the exception of the babes, because why do you need to hood children and babies?
Would it be possible to get some of this for like some underwear?
Actually, if you look at Aurora's Whole Realms guide, it is possible to get some of this for underwear, but
Nice.
that's a problem for when you get to Waterdeep.
Okay.
So basically, they're going to sort of like one of them to one of you guide you. You've got Gedrin, who's guiding you, Eric, and you, Joel. So your drow companions, who happen to be the male drow, will just sort of like stay behind you and kind of keep a hand on your shoulder lightly, so that they can direct you away from things so you don't inadvertently crash into something. The three female drow are guiding Randy, Rhiannon, and Allie. The lead drow is guiding you, Allie.
Okay.
They're again just sort of like keeping their hands on your shoulder gently to make sure that you don't collide with something. The one that's doing that to you, Randy, will say quietly, if you would like me to carry the children, I can. If you would prefer to keep them yourself, I will understand.
I think I'll hold on to them. Thank you.
Then I will be sure that you do not put a foot wrong. Okay.
While we are moving, I would like to keep track of my pace count.
Okay.
And also keep track of what turns we are making, or attempt to do so.
Yeah, that's entirely reasonable. Jamal's ghost can later inform you of whether you were wrong or right when Randy relays the information. So you'll go to the north, you'll hit a wall. You'll go along that wall for what feels to you like between 100 and 150 feet. You will then take a right into some sort of a passageway. You'll know that this passageway has bats in it because you can hear them screeching in the distance, right? And you're now pretty sure you're moving down this passageway. You'll go about 50 feet. Oh, yeah, there's bats here. You can smell the bats and hear them sort of screeching overhead. Oh, they're
Cheep,
flying
cheep.
out. Yep, there you go.
Cheap, cheap.
Yep. And someone's disturbed them. So they're headed out largely. There's probably still a few around, but the flight of bats that inhabits this place most of the day has gone out of it and into the wider forest. And you're more or less in here by yourself. Strong smell of guano, and sort of like that ammonia, nitrogen-y kind of a smell in this cavern. You can hear water dripping. The drow will take their hands off your shoulders. They're colluding.
So, I would feel better if I just can have some physical contact with my companions, just so I know they're there.
Mm-hmm. You want to say that out loud so that if someone thinks
yeah.
you're making a move, you're making it clear that you're not trying to do anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I'd feel like even just, just nudging one of them with my elbow or hand to hand.
All right, I'm going to say Rhiannon is the closest to you. So when you go a nudging, that's who you nudge. Rhiannon, you'll be briefly startled when you realize, oh, Randy, he's the closest. That's what he meant when he was saying that out loud.
Yeah, and so we can communicate with each other as long as we're touching, right?
That is correct.
Right. So I'll be like, hey, Rhiannon, see if you can touch one of the others, and maybe we can form a chain and we can confer here while we're in secret.
Yeah, Eric will break it, but
Oh, right.
I mean, whoever's closest to me.
All right,
I don't have kids in my hands, so
that happens to be Allie. So you'll quickly grab each other with someone can grab Eric, but he's just, a dead end of the line here.
Okay. Hey, gang, how's it going? FYI, I saw the Jedi ghost of Jamal. And
what?
Yeah,
Wait,
she's
what?
apparently Finder has she's now a servant of Finder, and I can see her, and she said that she would keep watch over us as we're blindfolded and let us know where we're going.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
That's handy.
Yeah.
Was she blue?
No, but she
Normal
was
color.
younger than when we saw her and fully, healed. Her leg was healed and everything, and she was dressed like kind of like in drow garb, like a stealth garb, or maybe not drow garb, but like in stealthy, thiefy
Adventure
garb, adventure gear. I think she's just having some fun with it because I don't think it really matters what she's wearing, but
You can see
Fair.
it.
yeah.
So, well, let her know it's appreciated, I guess. I don't know about y'all, but apparently this was enough to get my voice a little uncharacteristically chatty.
Anything useful?
Drowby sus, yo.
oh wait, that's what mine said.
Oh, really? Okay. Some unfortunately maybe a little intolerant vibes going on. I'm not digging that, but you do what you gotta do, I guess.
So didn't Eric promise that we would renew the forest that Rhiannon burned?
Through the actions of the promenade. So I assume we're
Okay.
gonna, yeah.
Got it.
Presumably that's where we're going.
Work with the yes, that would be where they're leading us, the Promenade of the Dark Maiden.
Is that Skullport?
No, it's not Skullport. It's
Okay.
a separate spot from Skullport on the same level. Uh,
Before they separate us, is there any kind of like story that we want to coordinate, or is there anything like strategy that you want to coordinate, Ali? Like, do you
I
have any
mean,
thoughts?
thus far, I've largely told them not a lie. I've told them the truth, leaving out that we're, from another world. Like that, I feel like that's
That's a lot. Yeah. So
It's
portal
a
magic
lot.
went wrong.
yeah, it's
We were trying to teleport to Waterdeep, and we ended up in
got a
Undermountain.
little, yeah,
All of
we
which is
can-
true. So
Yeah, we can even include it was supposed to teleport us where the moonlight touched, and unfortunately, moonlight be touching down here. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. They do like moon things, I'm sure, but
As servants of Illustre and as drow, is there anything we shouldn't mention? Like if they question like about the children or about Gedrin or about Eric's
I
sword or about
can't
like is there
think of
anything
anything.
okay.
Illustrate is, a good alliance deity. She's, she is, her whole thing is trying to find a way to, free the rest of the drow from, Lolth's control. I don't think she's gonna have any issue with any of the stuff we've been getting up to. It doesn't interact or, impede anything that they try to do, and as long as we behave ourselves, I think we'll be fine.
Okay. I'm cool.
Eric, Gedrin, you two doing okay? I say that out. I mean, low voice, but just
Yep. I'm good. You haven't fallen down.
no. You're doing very well. I just want to make sure that you're doing okay. Since I
Kind of hard holding your hand because you're short, and Papa's hand because he's so tall.
right, I'm assuming that you're like this for Eric, but
Egregious.
Life is full of challenges, lad. You're doing well.
Thank you, Papa.
Yes.
Papa, can you reach me?
I as well am doing all right.
okay, good.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting there. I've kind of always wanted to see this place.
Is there a reason we're stopped?
What
don't
is the
know.
promenade? Sorry.
To get
Rhiannon, could you please roll a 20-sided die?
I guess we'll find out when I get there. Sorry.
One.
Can't. Oh, that's quite convenient. I can't say. That's what he'll say. I can't say. Rhiannon?
Hmm?
Now, you're the only one who seems to have picked up on this, and I don't know. Well, that's weird, maybe, but you smell, that like blood. It's got like a tang to it, like just a little coppery smell. No. Someone's spilling blood around here.
Ferris, not topic.
Oh, terribly sorry. Yes. Okay. Someone's spilling blood around here. Okay.
Well, so I mean, we're still touching, so I'm going to tell the group chat.
The group chat.
I smell blood. Are we going through like the marketplace with butchers or something?
Allie and Joel, if you could both roll 20-sided dice.
Yeah,
That's a 2.
Okay. Hey,
that's a 1.
why did she pick up on that before the two of you did? You totally should have picked up on that before she. 'Cause
Yeah,
Randy doesn't. You don't smell a thing, right? It smells like bat poop in here. I don't know how anybody's picking up blood.
Maybe child poop at this point too. I don't know. It's been
Yeah, it's hard to say.
yeah, I got a 1 myself.
So you can smell it. Someone spilled fresh blood in here. And there's Ilzrine's voice. I'm going to need to put something on your foreheads so that you can come with us. Don't worry,
Okay.
it's not dangerous.
Is that the blood we smell?
You want to say that out loud?
Yes.
Huh, I should have imagined that a dwarf would pick up on that. Yes, it is. It's ours.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
That's
Well-
what I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
And basically, they will each smear drow blood on your forehead.
On
So they
top
took
of
the bags
the
off.
hood.
basically on your actual forehead. So if you've got a mask or something that's like magical that's adhered to your forehead, then yes, on top of that. If you're just wearing a hood, then they'll move it aside so that they
Oh,
can
I see.
smear.
Okay.
Yeah. The intent is for them to touch flesh with the blood, the fresh blood.
Okay.
Roll a 20-sided die, everybody.
Uh-huh.
8.
I used up my good one, 17.
Okay, so 17,
12.
7.
3, 7.
No,
12.
I got a 12. 12.
Oh, you got a 12. Okay. 10 or better. You know, when you were trying to go through this gate not too long ago, this Finder Wyvernsburg guy told you that you needed there was a way to do it, and it was either a token of your violence or your blah blah. Oh, maybe blood would have been a thing that would have been one of the things that could have conceivably worked. Maybe this is a gates thing. Oh,
I mean, we did use blood ultimately, so
There you
yeah,
go.
that clicks.
maybe this is a gates thing. Nothing sinister about people anointing you in blood. There's nothing weird about that at all. It's normal. People just do this all the time.
This is fine. This is fine.
This is
Totally
fine.
fine.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm not a fan of blood magic.
Okay. This is to you, Joel.
Stargate theme starts playing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to communicate when we get where we're going until you're asleep. So if you're going to try that thing with your friend, you might want to try it now. Try not to attract attention.
No, I am not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that without at minimum warning him first. So we'll talk more later.
Okay. Seems a little tentative. Unsteady,
Well,
unsure of what it's up to there. Okay. So you will be led one at a time up to the wall. There's the stone in front of you. And the drow leading each one of you will say, we're about to take a step forward. It's going to feel for you or to you for a moment as though you're going to be walking into a solid object, but that isn't the case. You just need to move shoulder to shoulder with me as we move forward. You will come with us.
Understood.
Okay, will do.
Anybody balking at that?
I mean, is it
I mean,
literally shoulder
even
to
if I
shoulder?
run
'Cause
into the wall,
Eric's
I mean,
gonna
I'm gonna-
really.
gonna
Yeah, I'm
break
gonna
my nose or something.
Put a hand out so that my hand touches first, so I don't break my nose. But
That's fair, entirely fair. And Rhiannon, you make excellent points. So going first, Allie, will be you. And basically, Ilzrine will put her arm locked with your arm and sort of walk towards the wall at the same time. And you'll feel an instant of a contact with a firm surface, like somebody's going to smack me into okay. And then you're passing through like this very cold, like darkness. And then you're through it. And you're in an entirely different place from the smell and the temperature of it. You've stepped out into a hewn stone corridor from the sound that your, boots are making as you guys step through it. Okay, that must have been a gate. Next will come Rhiannon. Similar experience, Rhiannon. No lurching, no vomiting, so that was a smooth transition, which is nice. Then Randy, you, and you're in this sort of echoey underground. You're still underground, but again, sort of echoey place. An instant later, you'll hear, "Yep, I can be here too," in Jamal's voice.
Good acoustics.
Yeah, actually, I bet they have fantastic acoustics in this place. Joel, an instant later, you'll do the same thing. That was definitely a passing through stone. It's a dwarves. We know these things. Was definitely passing through one type of stone, coming out in a slightly different type of stone. Kind of an interesting effect. And then finally, Eric, you'll sort of stagger forward a little bit. You're pretty tall, so you had to kind of duck to make sure all of the parts of your body hit this thing at the same time, so you didn't end up, leaving your head in one place and taking your torso and the rest of you to another location. So that was a little disjointed, but, not nauseating. And now you are standing in an entirely different place. Okay.
Okay.
The hoods are coming off.
Great.
You are,
Nice.
in fact, in an underground corridor. It's like a 10 by 10 by 10 looking hallway. Dark granite. There's some like lichen growing in some of the cracks along the top of the wall that's gently phosphorescing yellowish green, such that
I
you
like-
at least. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I liken what you've done with the place.
Everybody take 2 points of psychic damage. Yep.
Allie will groan.
Yeah, like audibly.
Yeah, just reflexible. And that allows you to kind of dimly see where you are in the hall, right? And in here with you now are 5 drow, the kids, and you. And Ildrine will say, thank you very much for your patience. We are now within the boundaries of the promenade. She'll move one hand, and the 2 male drow, as if taking an order from her, will hasten off. We have to tarry here for a moment, as the chamber I have in mind for you to spend the cycle in will need to be prepared. Do you have any immediate questions for me?
Well, we do appreciate your help and your hospitality. My question is, I suppose that we wouldn't want to overstay our welcome. Would we be able from here at some point to get some assistance in finding our way to Waterdeep? That's where we were trying to go in the first place.
The city of Waterdeep lies some distance above us. Yes, we have some traffic with it. And if you intend to go there at some point, we may be able to assist you. I don't know how long you'll actually be permitted to stay here. We take in those in danger. And so should you prove to be who you claim to be, and should our mistress decide that having you stay with us is a reasonable course of action, then you will be invited to join us for at least some time while you get your bearings. Should you wish to depart, you could make arrangements to do that. There is a city beneath the city of Waterdeep, Skullport. I'm not sure how well you know it.
Well enough to know that it's the sort of place that would be very dangerous to take these children.
Yes, very dangerous to take any children. And while you can purchase transportation from there to the city above, you might want to consider different means. But I think that's a conversation for tomorrow.
Agreed.
Other questions?
Mr. Saran, my tall companion has incurred a debt on our behalf to replace those trees.
I heard that.
Out in the
Yes.
Willow Wood. So I would like to begin the process of getting this, whether we stay or go, I would like to discharge that debt before we, yes, as quickly as possible. So is there anything we can do on that front? Is that a matter of us making a payment and then you folks do it? Or
I
If that involves doing a service for you, we would be glad to do so.
I suspect that it may end up being something very much like that. But that is a question for the council and something that they will have to take up
Of course.
in the next cycle.
understood. Thank you.
I wish to convey our thanks on a divine level. Protecting those in need is a divine mandate, and you have honored my deity as well as honored your own compassion and kindness.
She'll give you a little bit of a look like she's trying to suss you out, and she'll say, "You're a holy warrior, aren't you?"
I am an aspiring holy warrior, technically.
And somewhat humble one at that. Well, I am both a priestess and a warrior, and so I very much appreciate your words and the intent behind them. And she'll give you, like, her hand to give you the warrior handshake.
I return the warrior handshake.
Which is kind of funny when you're looking at Eric giving the warrior handshake to a 4'10", 85-pound drow woman who nevertheless looks like she's a pretty combat capable person. To Eric's 6'80"ness, like with warrior handshaking each other. It's kind of amusing from a visual
It would be pretty
perspective.
funny if it was a warrior handshake and then she like threw me back on over her shoulder. Like that would be really funny.
That would
And
be
probably
really
going to
funny.
happen one of these days.
Yeah, give it some time. Okay. So she will say, as I mentioned, I need to consult with the council to determine exactly what we would do with you and how we would discharge that obligation that you've incurred on our behalf. I'll arrange, and I'm doing so right now, for a room for you to spend some rest time in. And then at the beginning of tomorrow's cycle, we can address these issues. The chambers will be pretty Spartan, but I can promise you food and drink, and you look like you probably haven't had any of that in a little while. I would ask that you keep your magics and your weapons slung, except in defense of this place while you inhabit it.
You have my word.
She's looking around in a way that says, do I have everyone's word?
Except in defense of my companions in this place. Yes.
She will nod. Acceptable terms. And just a couple moments later, one of the 2 male drow that she sent off will come back and begin guiding you forward. This time you get to see the path that you're taking. You're going down this hallway, which is actually kind of like diagonal hallway that leads to another set of hallways that are kind of, it's almost like this place is designed to be a little bit of a maze right around here. But then, okay, that takes you by a wider, like 15-foot wide central hallway, which takes you to a set of double doors. Okay, those are fairly secure. Looks like this place was probably at one point in time a temple, but they've replaced those double doors with more secure double doors. You're through those. Oh, there's a set of double doors to your right. Yes, this place was definitely at some point in time a temple based on the size and disposition of those double doors and the fact that they're up a step or two like a dais. Randy, could you roll a 20-sided die for me?
I am taking all this in, by
19.
the way.
19?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll take you a moment, during which time you'll note that Jamal will go from not being anywhere, because you don't know where she was, she talked, and then she was nowhere for a while. You didn't see her when you got the hood off. And now she's just standing, leaning against those double doors. Do you feel it? She'll say.
I see if I feel it.
I like that I see if I feel it. When you close your eyes and attempt to feel it, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to feel it.
You'll feel it, Randy. There's something from behind those doors that's sort of humming with power. And you can feel that power. And Jamal can feel that power, which tells you that the source of that power is probably something that you and Jamal have a special line on. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Noted.
I like that. Noted.
I'll note for anyone paying attention to me is that I'm probably fairly excited. Like, I am looking around, I'm taking everything in. Like, I'm not bouncing, but I'm just like, like definitely energized. Like, I'm like, this is cool. This is great. This is like,
it's kind of like a dream of sorts, right? And
yeah.
You're just, you know that beyond these simple plain chambers lurks a beautiful cathedral to, Elistray. So just if you can get out of these, cluttered doorways and out into the open, what wonders lie out there. So yeah, I can see you bouncing about that. Okay, so you'll pass another set of regular doors on your right, and this appears to be the room that you're going to be collectively deposited at. Ildring will dismiss the rest of her guardians, who will head off in the direction of the hallway you wish you could go down, Allie. And she'll unlock with a black key that has a half moon at the top end of it, that door. It will lead into 12 by 12 chamber. This place looks like bunk beds for junior priestesses, I guess is how I would describe it. It's got that Illustrate dorm room vibe. With bunk beds for a total of 8, a table, and some chairs for an equivalent number. Oh, well, the back wall has actually got this lovely tapestry that fills like half that wall of a woman clothed only in her silver hair, bearing a sword raised to the sky with the moon behind her as she's sitting at the edge of a cliff with the forest in the background. It's actually quite beautiful. Elves probably made that. And the furniture looks, well, that's probably not wood? Huh, because it's kind of light, but it's clearly not like I wonder if that's made of like mushrooms or something like that. Huh. Okay, interesting. This does, however, appear to be the end of the road, because Ildrine will say, and these are the chambers that we can offer you. I will set about fetching you some food and drink, and please do not be insulted by the fact that I'll be locking you in here for a little bit.
Sorry, did you say this
Of
space
course.
was 12 by 12?
Yes, it's 12 by 12 room.
That's a
Oh,
very
you're
small
right.
space for all of us to
you're
pack
right.
into.
Did I say 20 by 20? Because I meant
Okay.
20 by 20.
That's,
I can actually look at the map and tell you precisely how big it is, but it's big enough to have 8 bunk beds in it, so let's
Okay.
call it 20 by 20.
Is there a privy?
There are ewers that are probably designed for that purpose. No privy.
Okay.
So, all right.
As she
Yes.
leaves, I will say, thank you again for all of this. There's no offense taken, and then I'll do the sweet water and light laughter. Ildrine.
Sweet Lord of water and light laughter. And she will say the elven word for sister, which you've heard said before, to you. Okay.
I'll just
Okay. So
nod
now
and
you're
smile.
all alone. There's no Jamal. So you are all alone.
Just give Allie a little sidelong look.
What?
I want to check
No,
behind the tapestry.
All right. You're
It's the-
using your
it's D&D.
heightened dwarven senses. You will check the walls for secret passageways and whatnot.
Or peepholes, but mostly, yes.
Yeah. I understand what you're up to, Joel. So Joel's, checking the place for bugs and secret entrances and exits while the rest of you are chatting.
I'm gonna feed and change the children, probably.
Okay.
At the
a
very
wise
least,
choice.
the food should be decent, and hopefully, we'll know exactly what they mean to do with us soon. But whatever the case is, we won't come in any harm. At least I don't think we will.
You've
It's not really
done
their
very well.
style.
You've done very well brokering that peace between us.
Well, I saw the hallmarks when they were laying in wait, so I figured I'd step in and spearhead that, I suppose.
It was a good instinct.
But
Not all of us had good instincts, and by that I mean myself. But here
I
we are.
mean, it probably would have been a bit easier if I'd taken a different form, but I really was hesitant about that
we
idea.
all have our burdens to bear, I suppose.
I try to communicate with my
What is
voice, and I
that?
say, can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can. That's a relief.
Okay, just checking.
I just mean that, you did make yourself a stunningly beautiful elf woman. So yeah, it's
I did.
you made choices. That's what we're saying.
Yes, and I made a conscious choice not to make myself a drow for various reasons.
Right. Right. Anyway, we're here. We're relatively safe. I know I'm
Joel?
waiting for something to spring on us as well.
Joel,
Look,
you'll determine that there are no secret holes or passageways to this room.
Okay,
Just a very solid stone room.
okay, good.
I mean, put yourself in my position, Eric. Wouldn't you make an idealized version of yourself given the ability to do so?
Absolutely. I am not faulting you in any way. I think you did well with the resources you had and the space that you
Eric,
had.
Eric,
You know
stop
what?
using,
It's
stop
it's
using
fine.
paladin voice.
It's fine.
You are
We're alone.
Paladin voice is a bit.
All right.
That's the thing. It's a bit overwrought. Every time you do this, you sound like you're trying to like. I don't know, man.
Look, method acting. Okay, look, you did good. We're here. We're fine. Okay.
It's not believable. That's what I'm saying.
It's not believable to you.
Well, I'm hungry, so
Yeah,
I was gonna
I am-
wait for the food before crashing.
That sounds like a good plan. I'm exhausted, honestly.
I should mention
Yes.
that when we were in that main chamber, Jamal appeared. Eric, by the way, you weren't in on the earlier conversation, but
Correct.
Jamal, Finder has Jamal now is a servant of Finder, a spiritual servant apparently, and she has appeared to me, and she indicated that there may be something beyond those double doors to the right, I think it was. And I sensed something of great power beyond it. Something's tingling my Finder spidey senses. So it's something that must be somehow resonant with Finder or that kind of energy.
It might be the heart of the temple. Like, this place is a holy place.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be, I believe there's a rather large statue of Illustrae in this temple somewhere. It might have been through those doors.
Yeah, Ellie, could you, for those of us who are not familiar with the Promenade, is there anything we should know? Can you just give us a little bit of background about what's going on here?
Before you disclose any more broad information, I just want to point something out to all of you. You are now having a conversation verbally.
Yes.
Because you have no choice if you want to include Eric in that conversation, but to have that conversation verbally. Having that conversation verbally allows certain passengers access to the conversation that you're having.
Mm-hmm.
Just be aware of that.
Mm.
So,
Fair
the
enough.
Promenade, you were saying.
Well,
Passengers just in Gedrin, or you mean like
passengers,
The marks.
Oh.
the voices.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what you want to know. It's a temple. The population here is fairly small, as I understand it. It's mostly Drow. Possibly entirely. I can't recall the exact amount. I know bad things happen during the whole spell plague thing, and I don't know why I just did that. I don't have a watch on, and that watch wouldn't tell me anything anyway. About like 10 or 13 years, but you know, it pretty much devastates the Promenade for a while.
That's not good.
A watch
no,
that
it's
predicts
not.
the next major, magical holocaust is
Yeah.
always a handy thing, I think. We should probably
It just goes
Um,
off every
one of
12
those.
minutes in the realms.
Yeah.
Well, trying to remember. That's what it was. Later on, I know that they're gonna have some issues with some followers of Gonadar. I don't know how
Great.
to pronounce it.
The
But that's
ooze,
not.
the ooze devil demon thing.
I don't think that's for another few years. Honestly.
I guess
Keep doing the
what
watch
is their
motion, like, it doesn't
disposition like?
matter.
Like, are we safe here? Are they cool?
Yeah.
Are they like?
They've given us their hospitality. We're safe here. Unless they deem us to be a direct threat to them and their survival, they're not going to hurt us.
And did they kind of imply that we could use this sort of as a base of like even after we like whatever
Well,
restore the
If
druids?
I mean,
Or
if
if we
they,
could, like-
if they deem us safe to keep around, because the secrecy of this place is important. If they deem us safe to keep around, then it sounds like we could at least linger for a while. Though I'd hesitate to refer to this place as a base of operations for us. That's kind of presumptive on our part.
It's been a while. I just want to kind of sanity check. What are we trying to do? like I want to make sure we don't get too sidetracked with like all of a sudden serving Illustrate or something like that. Like
I mean,
we already serve like apparently or attached to a number of gods already. So
we're trying to we're trying to get up to Waterdeep because that is where our best chance at finding information on maybe why we're here and maybe getting some of y'all home.
Got it. Yep.
So I don't see the reason to stay here at all.
Yeah.
Not once we have an option, no.
Binder's a god of renewal, so I don't know if there's anything he can do to help out with like renewing the forest or whatever. But I had thought about like offering while we were there, but I figured I just kind of.
I mean, like, I'll be realistic. I'm excited to be here, but I also recognize that lingering in this place isn't something all of you are going to want to do. So when it's time for us to go, it's time for us to go.
Are there folk who can train us here?
That's a good question, and that's something I kind of want to ask about.
I mean, they said something about magic, but I don't know if that's like lock it down, don't use it kind of advice. So,
right.
All right. So a few things while you were chatting there. One is Rhiannon, when you made your comment about getting out of here swiftly, your friend will say, you know, you've been feisty these past few hours, and yet every decision point arrived at, we arrive at the same place. Something for you to think about.
I'm not exactly sure what you're driving at in this case.
You just said what I would have told you, which is that this is not a place you want to tarry.
I see. Okay, so that's the sort of snarking we're doing. Okay, do you feel better now?
Yes, I do. And so, Joel, when Eric asked the question about training, this is what I'm trying to help you with. I just need you all on the same page.
Be specific. What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that I can assist you in gaining some skills that will allow you not to die so readily. But in order for me to do that, you must be of one mind.
Are you offering to I know Kung Fu us?
I don't know what that is.
That is okay. That is very interesting. Because Rhiannon's voice can pull pop culture references. Okay. And that's why I asked it that way.
Oh boy.
He's learning.
Oh boy.
All right. Okay. So be specific. What are you offering?
I'm offering.
Don't say help. Tell me what you're offering.
My master. One of the many things that he has some control over is time. I can create a place for you inside your mind, which will allow you to pass quite a bit of time in instance in this real world. And I have quite a bit of knowledge, enough to keep most of you alive. It seems as though you're careening from place to place, fighting things and gaining experience in the doing, but you've no time to put any of that experience to use, facing one danger immediately after another. I think I can help with that, but I need all of you to be able to tap in to the power.
Okay. Then out loud, I'm going to say, Eric, I think I can tie you back into the group chat. And is that something you want? Because right now you are currently not tied in. So I am not sure if that is, you are not tied into the passengers. Do
I understand.
You think that you should be tied back in?
I think that would be advantageous, but I don't want to force that on all of you.
We already got it, man.
No, I'm saying
Eric is saying he doesn't
saying
want to force.
I don't want to
thoughts
force
into your
my mind on your minds.
Get out of my head, man!
If you are all right with it, then yes.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to try to do something right now, and I will. Actually, can you kneel down, please? And once he does, I'll do the Vulcan mind meld gesture on his face and try to tie him back in.
You're really enjoying this, aren't you? I say this out loud.
Well, it'd be kind of weird if I did it on your stomach. So
I suppose.
Reasonable. So, how do you want to try to tie him back in? What does that mean?
my voice. So I
What
will
does
actually do
that mean to you?
That means I am attempting to reestablish his connection to his mark, and then after I've got my hand on him, I'm like, I say mentally, "Okay, do your thing."
Okay. So, Eric,
Mhm.
he'll put his hand on you. You'll feel for an instant like a flutter of power, like something just sputtered, as a connection between him and you. You, Joel, will feel something similar, and you'll say, "Do your thing." It's really your thing. You just have to like.
Okay. I guess I lean forward and touch our foreheads, and try and think really hard. Like, can you hear me? To Eric.
Eric, you feel vaguely foolish.
Okay.
What
happens?
down, man.
What happens with what Joel's doing? Like,
He feels vaguely foolish.
Okay, so
I mean, I think I have the spellcaster sort of intuition a little bit. Like, can I help?
I
Like,
don't
I'm
know.
also
Can
part
you
of the
help?
group chat, so
True.
okay. So everybody go to lay hands on Eric.
I mean, let's start with me first.
Okay.
Like, I'll go like
start with
shoulder
me.
shoulder,
Okay.
and
So, go ahead. You're now touching Eric.
yeah. So has the like to like thing been brought up where I heard it?
I don't believe Joel has said it out loud.
No, I did not repeat that out loud.
Okay.
Okay, what do you mean like to like? Because I feel ridiculous and doesn't seem to be working.
Like power, to like power. You're. It's frustrated with you.
Use your words.
I'm trying to use my words. You need to hear them. There is power akin to his power in your mark. Give it to him.
Okay, I luminesce my mark, which is the first time I've done that, I think. So I try to make my mark glow.
It's been bright before, but yes, it's been a while
But
since
first
you've
time
done
I've
that.
done it deliberately.
Deliberately. Okay, so there it goes.
So when I do that, is it just the sun mark?
It is the sun mark, and it is a lovely shade of sunlight yellow, which is different from what the rest of you produce. PS.
Right. I'm actually going to see if I can. Okay, so touch my mark and touch his mark, and I see if I can illuminate his mark.
Okay, so you will take one hand on your own chest, another hand on Eric's chest. You'll feel an immediate, you've been on the carpet rubbing your feet and you touch somebody's nose. Yikes! You'll feel an immediate spark, like an electric spark between the two of you. Yeah, that's a power conduit of some kind or another. Something's been hooked up. Do you
Okay.
want to try and shove some power down the pipe?
I guess I guess I'll
That
visualize.
Sounds awfully tentative to me. That sounds
I'm
awfully
just
tentative.
trying to think of what that looks like. So I will visualize a glowing mote passing down from my arm, starting at my mark and passing down my arm into his chest and illuminating his mark.
Starting where on your mark?
Beginning specifically with the helm symbol.
So one of the gems on the gauntlet?
Sure.
Okay. An arcing, spark of power, softly radiating your arm to his chest, in that sort of like silvery, looks an awful lot like the same color that sword drips. Light will just race out of you and slam into Eric. Damn, Eric. That was unexpected, but that felt good.
Here I am. He's touching me. He's touching me. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then
and all of a sudden, one of the gems on your mark, which have been grayed out and dormant for some time, is glowing with stored light. Eric, so do you want more?
I'm not going to take more.
I'm going to give him more. I'm going to try to completely drain the helm portion of my mark and pass it over to Eric.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. All right, so do you want to tell him, Eric, I'm doing a thing? Do you want to tell him, Eric, I'm doing a thing?
Well, okay, before I do that, I'm going to ask, okay, Eric, can you hear me now?
Eric, you can hear him now.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. I'm going to try to completely recharge you.
My thoughts won't be in Paladin voice ever. I just want you to know that.
Okay.
If they get in Paladin voice, just start running. Just leave me to my fate.
Because it's not you anymore. Okay.
I don't know this is happening, but I just want to say, like, why are we handing magic to him if we're giving it away? Just saying.
I'm not in charge of that, Rhiannon.
I know. I've used my shield a bunch of times, and Rhiannon's used her.
I'm not handing off my stuff yet.
All right, so Joel, you only have 3 of these, I think, because you teleported once. And
now, I thought that was something with I thought that did something with the sun.
It did do something with the sun, but the power for it came from somewhere, and the somewhere was one of the gems on the
okay, so one of the gems drained when I... Okay, did another gem drain when I rezzed Eric?
Also correct. So that's why you got 2
left.
of those left.
Don't give them away. You'll need those later. Come on.
I mean, it's entirely up to you. I am not going to pressure you one way or another.
I'm going to push one more to Eric. I'll leave myself with one just because I don't want to cut myself off from the group chat.
Entirely reasonable. All right, Eric, and now another jolt of power down his arm from his mark to yours, and you've another gem back on your gauntlet. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I got gems, I got Vindicator. This is a nice combo.
Truly outrageous.
Baby, you're in the group chat now.
I'll try not to waste it.
So, shall we get the whole group?
All right, so everybody huddle up.
Oh boy.
All right, huddling up.
Okay, so and now we're all chatting psychically. So my passenger has offered that he can, because he has mastery of time, it sounds like he's going to be able to, or time is one of his domains. It sounds like he can give us basically an extended time stop to do some training.
Oh,
I'm giving you guys a lot here. I know.
Hold up. He's gonna hyperbolic time chamber us.
Maybe it's more of an I know kung fu thing. I'm not exactly clear, but it sounds like there will be a lot of time compression.
Did you say I know kung fu to him and he didn't get the reference?
And he did not get the reference, which is different from
Okay.
I wonder if I should test if mine understands.
Yeah, you should do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Eric, have you ever heard a voice other than like inside your head?
Well, Helm has summoned me a couple times.
Right, but you don't have a passenger or Randy.
Oh, and I met the last king of Westgate once.
What?
I was a servant of Helm's.
You haven't told that story yet.
It's not important. Don't worry about it. I haven't had time to tell that story.
Do you want to drop out of the group chat and try it now? Because you drained your thing pretty early.
Yes. Hang on.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Great Lord Helm? Question mark.
Echo, echo, echo.
Okay, I come back to the group chat.
This voicemail box is
Nothing.
full.
This voicemail box has not been set up.
If I have a voice, it hasn't spoken to me.
Okay.
The number you
Same
have
with-
dialed has been disconnected.
Same with you, right?
I mean, I see Jamal now, and I see dead people, and I and I spoke with Jamal actually on behalf of Finder, but I've also spoken with Finder. But I don't have like a voice that is in my head constantly,
Okay.
like making suggestions.
I mean, to be fair, mine's not in my head constantly either, but that seems to be because it requires some measure of effort to do so.
Okay.
Oh
so,
boy, lucky you.
So I assume we're having this conversation psychically again.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So do we trust our voices enough or do we trust my voice specifically enough to let them mess with our brains like this?
So
We
I
need
want
help.
to check it with mine because it might be like no. But that
think
doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it. I just am curious what it'll
Okay,
say.
so weird thing, my voice apparently wants to hide its existence from your voices, which is why I haven't really talked about it until, outside the group
Well,
chat.
they can't hear the group chat, just FYI.
Right, but if you consult your voice, I don't know how. Well, okay, I don't know how you're going to do that without revealing the existence of my voice.
Do we know for sure they can't hear the group chat?
They've
Yes.
made it sound like they can't.
I mean,
Again, how much do we trust them?
If they
Yeah, that's
can,
what
they're
I'm saying.
pretending pretty awfully well.
Okay. Okay.
I
Well,
mean, if mine was trying to like set us at ease, like it wouldn't have dropped the pop culture reference. Like, because that's weird. Like that's like super creepy.
I
So
don't get the sense that your voice ever wants to set you at ease.
no. Like I'm just lucky,
Wow.
I guess. Well, so here's the thing. Like
Yeah.
if I do a mind thing, I think my voice will like flip the bleep out. And I kind of don't want to have to deal with that in the moment. I kind of want to warn it something is coming. Because I think we really need the training stuff.
We really do.
So
Does anyone else beside me need spell books in order to learn magic, or
I'm a little unclear on how Rhiannon operates.
yeah? Okay, I think
So-
I,
None
I
of that
think I need
wizard
spell
nonsense.
books. Yeah.
Mhm.
As a bard magic user, I think I need spell books like a wizard does,
I think that's correct.
or maybe
But,
song books,
All right.
lyrics
So-
and music by.
let me drop out of the group chat for a second. So I'll take my hands off of people, and
Okay.
step back, and say, so it sounded like maybe there was some sort of opportunity to get training here, or
Do
you
you
already
have
knew that.
Any idea how long we'd be here in order for you to do that?
I mean,
Months.
what? So I mean, we're in the land of like timey-wimey shit. So
I don't
I just-
entirely understand what you mean there.
wait a second.
I understand what you mean by timey-wimey. I don't understand what the land of timey-wimey shit is.
Magic, man. Time stop. These kind of things. Anyway, so if I have this kind of opportunity, are you gonna freak out? I'm just saying.
If we spend the next 3 months here, am I going to freak out?
No, if I have an opportunity to come into knowledge quickly, are you gonna fight me on it?
If it results in you being more powerful, I don't see why I'd get in the way. But if you're thinking about making a compact with some entity, be wary of compacts you make with entities.
Oh, because it's your territory, so nobody else better horn in on it. Is that what we're saying here?
Did I say that? Or did you just say that?
Does it need to be said?
I don't think it does.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Actually, we need to discuss that too, but
Hmm.
BRB. Which is another, like, I'm assuming that it also is sort of like it gets that.
It gets it. It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the group chat. So mine was just whining about how long it would take. So I think we're good there.
All right.
As long as it's not like some kind of warlock thing, or because mine was like, don't make any compacts. So
Well,
I think there was something like that, Joel, if you remember. I didn't hear it, but
Yeah. Oh, I have some more questions before we do this.
well, I
Okay.
am down to learn. So
All right. So having the conversation psychically. So is everybody agreeing that they are okay with doing this?
we need to
Maybe-
learn somehow, and learning quickly is better than taking months to do it.
Okay. Is there anybody who is not interested?
If it works, it works.
I'm interested if we can bring. Well, okay. I guess how does the time work? So if we go in, we come out, and only a very short amount of time has passed in this realm. In
I think
theory,
that's
right?
how
So
it works.
Yeah.
okay,
Kind of-
so the children should be fine.
Well, yeah, they'll be fine.
They'll be 17 years old when we get back.
That's what I'm like.
Like I said,
Well, we can bring them
hyperbolic
along
time
for training
chamber.
too.
I was like thinking about. Yeah, I was gonna think maybe we could do the reverse and send them in there for a little while, have them pop out like old enough to like walk themselves. But
Hey,
That's gonna cause some problems with the Gedrin situation, I think.
Mm.
not if we train him.
but yeah, okay, so then I'm fine. Yeah, I can pop in, I guess, and I'm not. Well, I don't know that. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not sure what I would learn in there, but I don't have I don't have spell books, and I get my spells from Finder in theory as a cleric. So I guess.
You'd gain levels.
Oh, okay, sure.
Let's just
Okay.
be open about it. That's
Yeah.
what would happen.
Yeah. And
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
You're in the group chat. There's no reason we can't talk about it this way.
Right. And,
Okay.
Metagame
and
this
he's-
situation to the hilt.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Sure, yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't mean to like complicate. Happy to hop in and let Gedrin watch the kids for
Okay.
a few minutes or whatever.
that
Look,
That's
it's
a
really
blue
easy to
ball.
fall into the LARP. I get it. But that's just what's happening.
it's not a LARP.
all right.
We were just talking about the paladin voice. You know what? It doesn't matter. Let's
Okay.
just go.
So, talking to my voice internally, breaking the link, and then talking to my voice. Before I let you tinker with all of our heads, what is the cost involved?
Cost?
Is there a cost?
Well, you'll need to sign the agreement in triplicate, in blood,
Mm-hmm.
that you will not disclose any information about what transpires inside of our. You can think of it as a demi-plane. You can think of it as a dreamscape. Really, it's a bit of all of those things. It's the power of our master.
Okay.
As long as you don't disclose that information to anyone, most particularly anyone else connected with these marks, then really you're free to do whatever you want with the knowledge.
Okay. So I have to continue not keeping your existence secret from the other voices.
Which
That-
really is in your interest. I'm not just doing it for me.
Okay.
I'm doing it for you. I said this to you before. You're too important. If they
Mhm.
find out, they will want to end you.
All right. Before we do anything like that, tell me why.
Why they will
But
want to
before I
end
let
you?
you mess with before I let you mess with all of our heads, I want some answers. Who are you?
I am but a humble servant of Aminator. My name is K. Loomis. I am a bureaucrat in the celestial bureaucracy, and I am here, charged by our sponsor, to provide you with what guidance I can. But I am weak comparative to some others. And
Mhm.
our sponsor is also, at this time, in this place, quite weak.
Mhm.
This message brought to you by your sponsor.
That is what it is safe to tell you now.
You see, being cagey like this makes me very hesitant to trust you.
I can understand that, and that's reasonable, and you needn't accept my offer. I'm just trying to be helpful.
We kind of need this, though.
I know. All right. What happens in 2 years that you need me for?
You understand chemistry. You would call it, I think, right? Alchemy is really how I understand it. Explosions. You grasp that. I believe that's why you were chosen.
Okay. Interesting. Yes, I do.
Then you know that every one of those needs a source of power. I believe that's what you are, Joel. I believe that you are the spark.
Catalyst.
An igniter. Okay. Interesting.
I'm telling you, it's dangerous for you to share that information with anyone.
Oh, I'm not sharing it with anybody right now. But, all right. Before I do this, I want to run a quick check. I'm going to see if I can illuminate the symbol of Helm on my chest. I'm going to see if I can shed another color of light.
Okay. So
No, that's me. That's me telling the
Oh,
DM that. So I'm
answer to that question is yes, you can.
okay. I tried to illuminate the trident. Can I illuminate that?
Yes, you can.
Okay. And
Did you roll a 20-sided die for me, Joel?
and that's they come out silver and red.
They do.
12.
Okay. When you did that, right? When you illuminated the trident, you felt something crawl across your consciousness. Sent a shiver down your spine.
Okay. All right. Is there anything anybody wants to do before we do this?
I mean, eat, but I don't know when the
Yeah. Do we
food's
want to wait for
coming,
the food to show up?
That's
And maybe
reasonable.
get the
Well,
kids settled for the night,
Yeah.
since we're not quite sure how long this is going to take in real time.
Oh, they're
Correct.
already unconscious.
Oh, they're already
Literally,
asleep?
you
Okay.
fed them and bonk.
Oh, we already
Kids
ate.
have this
Okay.
unique ability to just be unconscious at any time. But
All right.
wait for the food is reasonable if that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah, I want to go into it in a full stomach. That's what I feel.
Okay. So 5 minutes later, there'll be a knock upon the door and Iljean will return. She has what looks like stew, bread, and a bottle of wine with a number of clay cups for all of you. She'll explain to you that this is actually predominantly mushrooms, but there's also some fish in it. But I think you're going to find it to your taste.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your hospitality. We appreciate it. Is
You're welcome.
the wine is not strong, I assume, since we have to.
No.
Since it's also for
Yeah.
the kids. Okay. Or Gedrin.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
So,
And now she's gone. Door once again locked. This is nourishing. It's unusual, right? Like do you like mushrooms in real life? Do you hate mushrooms in real life?
I like mushrooms.
I do.
Well, then
Yeah, they're
you're in luck.
I'm
If you're a fan of mushrooms, like I like different types of mushrooms because you get a slightly different taste and a slightly different texture. This is all the world's mushrooms, plus some kind of fish, some kind of freshwater fish.
I will say, normally in real life, I'm not a huge fan of mushrooms, but I feel like as an elf, I don't know if my palate's changed at all.
Yes, this is a plant that comes from the earth. You like to eat it. That's pretty much where you're at. So
I'll actually I'll take a tentative bite.
is it really a plant
Like-
or is it really a fungus, which is really something else? I mean, we could get a botanist in here or whatever fungus people are, but For our purposes, elves will eat it. Yeah, it's pretty satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take that tentative bite and then go, huh. And just start digging in. Like,
The wine is weak, but it's spiced, so not unpleasant to the taste. Okay, and now you have full bellies in addition.
All right, let's do this thing.
We're gonna try and eat bacon sometime, and Allie's gonna go, oh no, what have I done?
Curse you! Bacon was my true love. Okay. Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right,
Let's go.
how do we initiate this? I'm assuming we all need to link up.
You go to sleep.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Do we need to go to
Good.
sleep? We don't need to
Good.
go to sleep touching though, right? Just making sure.
The power of Aminator is in all of you.
We all huddle in the same bed. The drow comes in. All right. Oh, back slow down.
No.
No, please, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Bottom
calling a
bunk.
bottom bunk. I wanna climb-
Did you both
The ladder's probably not dwarf sized.
Probably. Okay.
Okay.
I
So,
will sleep by the door so as to protect everybody.
so you'll all go to sleep. Eric, you're the last one to go to bed because your mind is still racing a little bit here. When you're ready to go to sleep, Randy, you'll notice that Jamal will appear and take a spot, near the wall so she can easily see the door and give you a little, I got you covered, buddy. So that you can go to sleep while knowing at least somebody's watching you while you're all unconscious. And you'll scatter out to your separate beds. As you do that, you will awake in a different place, looks like an amphitheater, almost like a Colosseum-y type of amphitheater. I don't know what you guys know about archaeology and what's the word I'm sure. Yeah, well, I know what one person knows about it. About archaeology and art history and blah blah blah, but this has a distinctly Eastern Roman / Byzantine feel to it, and you're in the blazing sun, so it's got a Spartacus moment on that one, movie or TV show, dealer's choice on that, and then you'll note that standing before you is a man. He's about 5.5 feet tall, somewhat pudgy and bookish appearance. His hair, a distinguished gray, combed methodically to one side, and his eyes, sharp and discerning, seem to miss no details. He's dressed in the fashion of ancient Netherese legal scholars and bureaucrats, which happens to be robes of deep maroon and gold, signifying his dedication to law and the sun, adorned with symbols of scales and suns emblazoned across their hems.
Wonderful.
He carries an ancient tome on his belt, and he has a golden quill tucked behind one ear. Well, it certainly took you all long enough to get here, and that's where we'll end our session for tonight.
Oh boy.
oh, fun.
Fantasy bureaucrats. It's going to be a good time. Thank you for watching. I've been Eric Scott DeVee of the Dungeon Scrawlers. Check out my books. They're online. My website is justmyname.com, and join the Discord where the adventure continues. We'll continue talking about this. Hopefully there's a chat going on about this episode or what happened in the previous episode. And if you would like to weigh in your thoughts, please do so. Like, subscribe. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, Allie. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. I am Alexander Pitchford, or Allie for short. I'm a writer, TTRPG streamer. Got it tongue-tied there. And game designer. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to wherever these Promenade shenanigans go next time.
I've been Rhiannon Held. Check out my books, the Silver series under Rhiannon Held. I like to call it Anthropological Werewolves. And under RZ Held, my space opera novellas. So they're novellas, they're shorter. You can get a tiny little bite of snarky AI and self-identity in the face of technology and all kinds of cool stuff. It's called the Amsterdam Institute series, starting with Clean Install. And tonight, thank you to our moderators in the chat, whoever they may be.
All right, everybody, I've been Joel, and I'm really hoping I didn't just make a terrible, terrible mistake. And thank you for coming along with us.
I've been what is it? Jordan McGillicuddy as Randy Henderson, and I'm thinking maybe I'll create like a form, like a level up in alternate space form 397B/4 that needs to be filled out in triplicate in order to for this bureaucrat to upgrade us, that I can share with our viewers maybe.
And if he does, he'll post it on the Discord.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you speak Vogon?
So check out our
Because you
Discord.
might need to make that in Vogon.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
It'll be very
All right.
poetic.
And thank you, Randy. And I have been your Dungeon Master, enjoying once again another one of these sessions, and I'm eager to see if Joel has made a tremendous mistake. So join us in our next session.
All right. See you soon. Bye.